Waiting for a few data points to come through here. August PPI due at 8:30. Just coming across year over year, actual 1.7% versus 1.7% expected. So right in line. 2 days in a row, the inflation print comes in line with expectation. Month over month, slight uptick, 0.2 versus 0.1 expected to the upside. Core PPI, 0.3 on the month over month versus 0.2 as well. Consensus forecast there, but the core PPI year over year, 2.4 versus a forecast of 2.3%. So more or less the same as what we saw yesterday with CPI, 1.7% there. Versus, I mean, this says 2%, but I see on another platform here it's 1.7 as well. So depending on where you look, basically flat across the board here. Initial jobless claims just coming through, 230,000 versus 231,000 forecast for the week over week number. Continuing claims, 1.85 million versus 1.845 million on that number as well. That's about it for economic data this morning. Slight downtick here for the overall market, slight downtick there for Google. NASDAQ back to basically flat on that number this morning, was up about 0.2%. ES 0.15 still in positive territory. So back and forth we go here with these economic numbers.
What a buy up yesterday in the afternoon, Brendo, on the NQ. We started off red and we were, digesting that CPI print, the debate from the night prior. And then we didn't really look back. If I could show the chart over here, crazy. Fabian, because we did not look at 10:30 onwards. We did not stop. We took 19,000 like it didn't matter, and we really got into that 19,250. Above 19,300, lots to talk about today, Brendo, but PPI coming in line here.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much that chart actually gives you a little bit better perspective of this move in the overall market this morning compared to yesterday. I mean, basically nothing here on that number at 8:30. A little visual for you to kind of put that into context. This is getting pretty tight as far as the consolidation on the month-over-month number for PPI. A little bit of a downtick there on the final demand for goods number. Everything else, though, pretty much in line for PPI. So, yeah, back to 0.2 right now for the SPY. NASDAQ, I'm seeing still positive, but only just here. Happy Thursday, guys.
Ooh, happy Thursday.
Like that.
Happy 2-0 day is what I'm calling it. Well, the Bills are going to go 2-0.
No, I was like, yeah. No, I knew it was going to be the Bills, but I was thinking like 2 wins. But yeah, week 1 and week 2.
No,
yeah. I can't believe Arizona. Those guys are. I mean, I'm glad the Bills got the win. I don't really have any favorites on the Cardinals.
You can't be down 17.
I just 17 to 3. Like Marvin Harrison gets 1 ball or something. It's so crazy, those guys.
Oh, that's well.
But today's going to be a different story, man. They're going to use those weapons in Miami, and then Bills defense is the thing that everybody questions.
Yeah, but that's making the assumption that that Tyreek Hill doesn't get pulled over and arrested.
Even if he does, it's not a big deal. Even if he does, not a big deal.
It is
just gets up. He got a touchdown last week, didn't he?
He did score a touchdown last week.
You don't want him to get arrested, man.
No, actually, I have Tyreek Hill in fantasy, so I was pretty pleased by the end result of everything.
I might get arrested coming into work the next time because you know what? What's his name? Scotty Scheffler. That guy gets arrested, and then he just took home $63 million this year.
That was insane. It's almost as if there's my theory on that.
I don't have a record. But
my theory on that actually is it gets you like laser focused. Like there's something like it's like
I would just think it would throw you. I would think it would throw you off.
Well, you know what's weird? There was a day. So I've been getting driven in. Since the Achilles. There was a day that it was a minor fender bender, but the driver got rear-ended. Mm-hmm. And I remember it woke me the you-know-what up. And what was crazy about it is I didn't even need a coffee that morning.
Oh, yeah, because you're all of a sudden.
No, it was just, I was very alert despite the fact that I hadn't had my coffee, all that kind of good stuff. But look, and when it's a nothing burger on the number, which we kind of expect, I don't think you want to change the tone too much here today. Most of the chips are strong. This is the one that's going to stand out. Basically, all of the chips look pretty solid going into today after what happened yesterday. But Micron got a downgrade and looks nasty, and we're going to talk a lot about them. It might not be a very good day for Micron, the same way it's not a good day for mRNA. But the NASDAQ just gave a little bit of a dip back in here. Okay, wait, AMD lost 150 in there. All right, nowhere near 147. Not necessarily too worried about that. I see you're already in Nvidia. I like the close.
Yeah, I mean, this is the close right here, isn't it?
Yeah, I have it just under 117.
Yeah.
So I think we get there. If it doesn't, I only have 2 levels on this stock today if it's not breaking out the top. and it's prior close because that's just I like close prices. They usually mean more than open prices, and then $114. So if it loses the open price, I think you're looking back at 114. Google's up today, and there's not even any news. I like a day like that. And Moderna, yikes. Moderna already flat bottom broke a 52-week low well before we even came on air.
So I don't want to make this too much rocket science. Look, yesterday we had a dip down at 8:30 on the number. We were able to get Nvidia long at 108. It closed the day at 108 to 117, as we just discussed. So that was a wicked opportunity. Could have you got it again? Yes, you could have. Right here at 11 o'clock, and then boom to the upside. So I'm just going to try to play the same thing again. We're 17 cents in the money right now on Nvidia. There's the drip down. There's the buy. And there's 30 cents already right there for Nvidia. So let's just see where it can go. It's going to be, it was such a huge name for us yesterday that I'm going to be trading it again here. It could still lose it. I mean, we have 116.80 right there, maybe 116.50. Like, if we're going to try to make $1 on this trade, we should be able to lose $1. So like 116.50 or so would be a spot for me here. And it's a very, very, we'll have like 5% of the shares we would have now than we would post 9:30. So light trade, but it's still a trade. Yeah, so Nvidia, we're on our minds there. Micron, I was saying to Neil, I was like, why would anybody even invest in anything right now other than in Nvidia, Broadcom, or AMD? You know, right here, Micron, just the stories keep getting worse. Now you have a downgrade down 4%. It's
what about ARM?
You're going to, ARM is nice too, actually. Yeah, but ARM is a little bit different because ARM is
No, I know.
like ARM gets the Apple bump and all that stuff.
They don't actually count the same way as the other chip makers. There's very different, we lump them all together, but they're all very different.
Well, plus ARM is still, it's not a relatively new IPO, but, there's still, I think that's still under-owned. There's probably still people that want to get into
very
it.
institutional.
But Micron right here is at $87, and it's like about to slip up pretty good here. So, all right, we'll wait to see what happens in the open market. But right now, 30 cents in the money on Nvidia.
There's no bid on Moderna.
McLaren.
Want to hear?
We'll talk about it. Kroger. A few earnings names to discuss this morning. Kroger, one of them. I just saw pop up again. I was trying to find whether or not. Yeah, Maxim is a Lambo driving by. Not a McLaren. I was just trying to see when their call was. There's a couple of comments I see flying by, but not a lot of volume here. But Kroger, one of the few earnings names to deal with today.
Yeah, up 0.75% here, Brendo. Good look for them. They beat earnings expectations. They also raised the outlook, so good look there. What I want to hear on the call is exactly how the company plans on going forward if the deal with Albertsons is kiboshed by the FTC or the DOJ, whoever's blocking it at the moment, because that's really been the topic of conversation. They say fundamentally the government doesn't understand how the supermarket business works, that margins are not inflated. We're talking 1% to 2% margins. So we'll have to see how this all works out.
Yeah, 10 a.m. for anyone that's going to be looking at KR today. Keep that in mind. Earnings call at 10.
Yeah, it's not, it's not doing a heck of a lot of volume. I'll give you that much. But the crazy thing is what is doing volume? I'm going to show this chart just because Moderna doesn't even have much of a bid. And every time there's more than a couple of hundred shares on the bid, and we're like, oh, there's somebody bidding 50 cents lower. Like, it gets there, and then they pull the bid, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, there's someone for 1,000 shares, 50 cents lower. And then it goes down, and then they pull the bid, and rinse and repeat. Moderna is absolutely bleeding. But I think when it comes to Kroger, like, you can see what's not going on here. It's just a couple of thousand shares, maybe 60,000 shares that have gone off. And really, it's done a round trip from bottoms back into essentially where it closed. It's dead flat. Weirdly enough, it would be more interesting if it flat bottom broke than anything else. But unless this is breaking down in the 200 period, I'm not seeing much that I'm going to like out of Kroger. We'll see what happens with that deal and everything. But yeah, this could be a bit of a nothing burger. I think you got to be looking at, the chips obviously are going to move. Big cap tech moved yesterday, so you got to respect something like an Alphabet. But I'm looking over at how nasty Moderna is, maybe some continuation in DJT. I don't think there's that much of a place for Kroger when it's not doing anything after reporting. Like, you'd like to see a break away into a new price level, which is just not happening here on KR. If it does, you can always join a trend later. But when something is flat after a report, that's usually a no-fly zone. I can't think of the last time I wanted to trade something that was flat after earnings.
Yeah, not a big possible play there, but we'll wait to see. We have Adobe tonight, which should be pretty good. There's this level here on Pfizer I was looking at. It's not. It hasn't really done 1.5 million. There was. That's what it says on our account, but I don't see really any volume here. But anyways, this 30 break. I just wanted to look at that because we've been playing breaks lately and they've been working. No specific catalysts regarding Pfizer right now, but this is not a horrible little area. As we'll talk about Moderna a little bit later on, as well as that's been heading to the downside here. Now breaking through 70. Okay.
It's so
When I sat in here, Moderna was like 71, 72 right here. And now we're starting even higher, actually. And now we're starting to break below 70. That was a little bit of a shocker. Okay, I guess we'll have to look at this name. Moderna has been really, really hit down there. And there is some kind of support, like right here, that goes all the way back to November of 23. Okay, so last November. So right in there. So a year ago lows coming into play right now for Moderna. So watch out now. This is another name. So one name, Pfizer, cracking one way, Moderna possibly cracking the other. So let's get ready to rumble here as biotech's possibly in play right now. All right, we are loaded a little bit more up here on Nvidia. So now we have a little bit more of a position. Let's see if it goes up. We're going to wait near 50 to see if that gets anything going there. And then a break higher into 118 again for Nvidia. But yeah, there's a couple biotech names there that I think are worth looking at.
We'll touch on Micron here real quick. Just bounced off 87. There was a pretty decent move there on volume to the downside at 8:30. There's a double downgrade this morning coming through on Micron. BNP Paribas, double downgrading to underperform, right from outperform to underperform. So a decent gap initially here this morning. Back to session lows here for MU.
Yeah, and it's Raymond James was chiming in on this one too, Brendo. So it looks like this is widely understood here to be the case with analysts. Let's talk about why First, I want to show the weekly chart on Micron. This is one hell of a topping tail candle. Neil and I were talking about this in the morning, got into that 160, and he really has not looked back. Here's the deal. So Exane Paribas believes Micron will underperform its AI peers into 2025. The main reason is the oversupply, the glut of inventory now with this high bandwidth memory and DRAM as well. There's just too much of it on the market. It's dropping in price and it's eating into their margins. So it's a bit of a tough look. And to the individual who asked me about this yesterday on the midday show, I didn't know this information, but if you're with us today, now you know.
Yeah, we've essentially given back the year almost. I just checked 45% off the highs for Micron as of the close yesterday.
It's like
45%.
Double downgrade at a double bottom. Like that obviously smells like a trap. The only thing that it's like, but their argument makes a lot of sense, right? So if there's a glut of supply, which has been an issue for Micron, it's not untrue. It hasn't been a good stock. There's no question about that. But I just feel like there's going to be like the last time it was at this level. This was obviously that early August bottom, which was nasty, and everything rebounded from there. So how many, like the stocks that have gone back to this level have generally been the things that you really don't want to have. And maybe you bounce off it again. I just have to think if there's a chip name to be short, I don't think we're going to get it at the obvious levels, which is like the 90. Ideally the top of the consolidation, because I don't think you want to be short anywhere near that 85 bottom unless it's clearing out and dumping. So I think this is a very, very cautious one where it's diddling in the middle. If this was at the top of the range, I feel like it would be an easier short today here on Micron. But you are back at that August. If it loses the August 5th low, I think all you know what's going to break loose on it. Just smells like a bit of a trap at that 85 for a flat bottom break. I would only want to short back into 90 on Micron.
Yeah, so that's basically, we'll drop down the sticky note right there. Now, first of all, Nvidia is starting to go, which is turning out to be a really nice trade here off the open. There's Micron. It's going to be the number one idea. Yeah, I would love the 90 short, the 85 break short as well, focusing on oversupply only short today on this name. I don't know if it's true or not. I thought things were still pretty much sold out, but Micron right there, 90 short sell, 85 break short. Neil just sort of dropped down the technical look there. But yeah, I mean, anything back into where we were sort of closed yesterday, I like that trade. And then the break of the bottom, so there's 90. I mean, if we have to hold it up to 91, I don't know if it shouldn't get there, but if it does, we'll just be singing on Nvidia anyways. But right there, 90, 91 would be a great short. I'll try it, starting it at 90. And then I really like the break of that bottom. So I think this would be one here that we would smash. Nvidia's now, so we are able to get a dip down in and able to more than double our position down there at 117. But there it is right there, 85. So yeah, I think that's worth hitting to the downside. But look at this rebound here in the market, and up goes Nvidia. We're waiting for 87s. I don't know where it just stopped. There again, we have multiple tranches to get out here. So it stopped at 8, so now it's come down to 82. So I was waiting 87 where the 50 period was. Well, we can change that right now. Even if we just get something out even right now, would be pretty good at 79. So one more, ooh, that's us, there it is. We'll take another out right there for another 55 cents. Let's just keep on going with Nvidia. Obviously, we're both long here, but you know, we took a much better position as it came and filled the quarters for 20s there for us. So good out there on Nvidia. Let's see what happened. Look at the market. I mean, it's the same. It's the same as what happened yesterday. I mean, we could show you. I'd already showed you that Nvidia play that we had yesterday, right? I mean, it was basically the exact same play. Let me just find it here on our watch list. Sorry, on the sticky note from yesterday. That's Amazon yesterday. Wow, what a monster that was. Here it is right here. Here's Nvidia from yesterday. So there's my dip buy yesterday in the morning at 8:30, and there's the out up there. More dip buys, and we saw that's just 112, man. It closed at 118. So at the end of the day, Nvidia just repeats itself, rinse and repeat all over
these are like
again.
babies. Yeah.
Don't pick the size.
Why are they? Yeah, what
They're
happened?
like little baby ones. That's all
I'll have
right.
to have it.
It's all good. It's not half. It's just a little. I mean, it's a little bit smaller than normal. Thank you so much, Randy.
Del Monte.
I feel like they're always Del Monte.
Ooh, product of Guatemala.
Ooh, Guatemala.
I like it.
Why not? No.
What are you looking at, Randy? You buying some XOM on that dip? Or
You got to do something with this
Good out
energy
on
stocks,
Nvidia,
bro.
By the way.
Yeah.
Problem.
Hurricane Francine causing Gulf.
I heard that
Oil's
hit
gonna-
landshore there.
Yeah.
Oil's gonna do some dipsy dives, but I don't think it's gonna last. I think they're well prepared, and we've got shale as a backup, so we'll just buy it.
Was this you at 108 yesterday?
No,
On-
but I had an eye
XOM?
on it. I mean, it's interesting, but can't do anything about the weather. So
Not yet. You can't do anything about
no,
the weather.
not yet.
Trust me. One day we're going to control the weather.
All we can do
it's
is-
a matter of time. Like
All
the
we can do is
technology
make
will get
coffee.
there. Well,
Yeah, that would be great, Randy. Thank you. That's a
Since you mention it,
make
I
coffee,
mean,
bring bananas. I just want
I'm
to
down
show.
with
I just
that.
want to show everybody. We'll go to the desk in a second here, but like you even have to respect these lines here in the pre-market, right? I mean, it comes right up to the 50-period moving average. So we always talk about this going from the 200 back up to VWAP. I mean, they're very, very similar. So one out there, one out there, and now we still have half of our position on. So we got out of half there. We'll hold it back, but you know that was just showing people that you have to stay sort of disciplined in a little bit of it. I want to try to hold this, but now we're out of half. So that was my play right there. But yeah, these are quite small bananas, and Randy's going to come back with the coffee. So hope everybody out there gets their coffee and all of that. So all right, guys, let's move. So there's a lot of people. I always see people asking about Frank Caberna. Unfortunately, he has other commitments. So Frank will not be joining us anytime soon. But when those commitments shore up, maybe he'll be back. But you know, that's what happens in this world. We get guests, they come, they go. But one person that doesn't come and go are those two gentlemen at the
Never.
desk. It's Brendan and Sharif.
maybe not never.
Is Luis is here?
We were equally as surprised. Yeah, Luis Barbado going to join us here from Barcelona in a couple of minutes. We'll talk to him, see how his summer's going. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Frank. It was IG did a rebrand, and they wanted to go in a different direction. So yeah, all is well as far as Frank Caberna is concerned. So we wish him well. I wanted to mention Google real quick here. It just made a session high. Quick reversal, though. It's up 1.4%. on the day. This is another one that had a great day yesterday, went out on the highs. If you're in Poland, good news. Google's going to permit beer-related advertising just in time for Oktoberfest.
That's fantastic, Brendo. I mean, I don't mind that, but I didn't even really realize that there were restrictions on beer advertising. But you and I were talking off camera. I haven't seen Google advertise beer in Canada, so maybe that is something. It's obviously doing well on the day, 1 1/3, guys. But here's the headline: the Irish regulator to probe Google over AI training models. So here's the deal: there is something called the Data Protection Commission out in Ireland, and basically they want you to do a data protection impact assessment. We've heard about environmental impact assessments. Now there's data impact assessments, Brendo, and you got to do it if you have a high-risk project that includes personal data. They didn't do it here, and now they're being investigated for it, so we'll have to see how this all works out, but the market really digesting this in stride.
Did you catch that OpenAI headline at the end of the day yesterday on that funding raise?
150 million, Brendo. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Unreal. They're doing something right, that's for sure. Google, though, guys, relatively strong here.
I looked at our note and I was like, oh man, I was so excited because Google was up. And then I looked at the note and it was kind of like some negative news. So I was like, I don't know. But yeah, you know what? They're the most profitable Mag 7 name here. I really like, obviously I like the stock, but I don't like to trade it yet. I mean, I still think we got to get above this 157, 158 area here, clear the 200 period moving average, get above this 160 into 165. I mean, this is sort of the area of interest for me. If you're going long up here, I think this could be a decent sell spot ahead of the 50 period moving average. But if we fall back into this area today, the market's flat, right? I mean, we just had back-to-back data days, and let's just let that sort of absorb. We saw the market take off into the close yesterday. So for me on Google, hard to trust the long. Honestly, it's just, it has, the DOJ, people questioning ChatGPT and how that's going to affect search and revenues but the cloud, their cloud is the highest growing piece, and YouTube alone is huge. I really, I like the stock here. It's just not as aggressive long as the others, but today it is. I mean, it's outpacing everything. 151 would be fine, but that's $2 down.
That's the problem for me.
I don't know. To me, Google's not really setting up yet. It's still kind of in no man land.
Yeah, I think it's got room to get to that 200 period on the daily.
Bring red cups. This is
you know what?
Taking long, but
see what's interesting is usually Randy will bring the McDonald's. Like he'll do one. I don't know why I call it McDonald's. It's more like ketchup and mustard, but it's the McDonald's colors too. He'll do the one red and the one yellow. He very rarely brings both red. I feel like that's a little bit ominous, to be honest with you. But I like what Google's doing, and I like the 151. Again, it would be nice if it was pulling back into prior close, because I think that gives you a kind of a runway that if you're not breaking out from the 9th, like Monday's top, which we're essentially wicking right now, you have a huge gap to fill up to 157 on the 15-minute, but you're right there trying to test it. It feels like you're much more likely to look for something around the previous close. So it would need to, that's nasty. Like it would have to drop a couple of bucks in there when it's looking strong. But that's the look for me, because it's right at the spot where it dumped on Monday. So I'm not saying it's going to dump here. I just say that I'd rather be playing a dip buy. And my note, I was like, I like a 151 long. But at the time, like it was here at 52, looking like we might pull back in, and then we knew we had numbers this morning, which can take you in either direction and sometimes cause dip buys. Well, it didn't happen here for Alphabet. On the daily chart, it is what it is. It's still in a bit of a downward pattern. I'm not interested in this until I get a stronger close on the weekly, but in the long term, to add to it, because I'm still in it, but yeah, Google, maybe we'll get a dip in 151. It's entirely possible that happens. I think you look over this and then you compare it with something like an Apple here. Not that Apple and Google are the same thing, not that Amazon and Google, it is what it is. It's just you see Apple, it's riding its 50-period moving average, just begging to break away from it one of these days. Whereas you're trying to get the move back to the 200 on Alphabet. It's just very, very different. And this is what I mean. If you look at Apple, almost every single day, it is tagging or touching this 222 area. Like it's just doing everything it can to get there, that 50 period on the daily. It's rejecting or breaking away from it. It's like the obvious over-under level. Like when it fails the 50 period on the daily, you get a good down move in Alphabet. Every time that there's been buyers above, it's been explosive off of that level. I think it's a clear over-under play here on Apple at the 222. We are ready. We got him. Let's go
back.
to the
Guess
desk.
who's
He's back.
again. Shade.
It's fall, so Luis Barbado joining us from Barcelona, the real trading office over in Barcelona. How are you? How was your summer?
It was very good. I'm glad to see you. So happy to see me again, Neil and Sean.
We missed you. Come on, we missed you. We missed your insight into small cap world. How has so let's rewind for anyone who's maybe seeing Luis for the first time. You've been a part of real trading for how many years now?
21 years.
21 years. So
yeah,
the expertise and the insight coming from Luis, we appreciate your input into the show whenever we can get it. So welcome back. Let's talk on, and I mean, it's a great time, Luis, because we've all of a sudden, I mean, just this week seen small caps pop up again and start running around. So I don't know if you were paying attention.
Well, we are back from holiday.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're paying
the sector, right?
Yeah, paying attention on the sideline and saying now's the time to go back to start trading. So give me an overview here of the week so far. There's been so many of these little ones running.
Yeah, a lot of runners, a lot of small cap gapping up. It's been very interesting week, and it's going to be a crazy day again today. Although the market has a lot of volatility and volume in the Nasdaq and semiconductors and all these blue chips, we still have a lot of volume on a small cap. So we have few tickers today, very interesting.
Yeah, I just pulled up SMFL, top of the volume list on my screen anyways. 18 million plus here, $1.31. Something like this seems to be maybe right in your wheelhouse here. What are you thinking here for SMFL?
Yeah, it's been active for the last days. Today we're gonna look for a bleeding day below VWAP. You know, it's trading below VWAP. It doesn't seem so crowded as last days. So we're gonna check some rebounds, some VWAP rejections, and try to go short in those 140, 145 if it gets there.
We've seen the resurgence of a few familiar names on the small cap list for anyone that's maybe coming from a world that we've been in over the past 6 months or so, where the Mag 7 mega cap stocks have been all the rage and stealing all the headlines. This is normal, where you start to see this cycle of small cap runners popping back up, and for the most part, sometimes you see the same names over and over again.
Absolutely. It's like a cycle, as you say. Actually, we created this summer, we used to create one tool. It's a very interesting tool. I'm going to show you here, sharing the screen. I don't know if you can see it now. You see here. It's very interesting because we wanted to analyze in what cycle, in what part of the cycle of the market we are. If we are in a runner cycle, if we are in more downside and backside down. So we create this tool that, you put some filters like $1 to $15 and percentage of the gap that you're looking for, and it tells you, you can do it weekly or daily, whatever, or monthly, and it tells you how many gappers up over 25%. In this case, there were this week, and how many of them close red on the day. It's very interesting to see if we are having a lot of gappers above 20, 25, or 30%, and how many of them are keep running during the day, and how many of them are going down and losing part of the gapping up. It's a very interesting tool. And for example, today we have this OBLG, which is gapping up. Let me check again. It's gapping up right now 34%, but it have been like 60% or something like that. And we have for the last 4 years 10 gaps, but the probability of closing down is 90%. So 9 of over these 10 gap, it has closed red. And you see here during the pre-market and the day how it moved on average. So it's a very interesting tool to see what's the data and where is more likely to go the stock. Statistically talking, of course.
Let's quickly here, we're getting close to 9 o'clock. Let's get through a couple of other names. Great insight on that. With that tool, are you relying heavily on the end of day prediction, or is it more an indication of a group moving in one direction?
First of all, we analyze if a group of, if the market itself, the whole market, it's running up more or going down. And then we go every ticker to see the probability of closing down and during what part of the day is moving up and down, which is very interesting because some of them has this typical movement of squeezing up in the opening and then all the way down. And some of them just hold during the day when they gap up. So first we see the whole market and then we go each ticker on itself, how is statistically moving during the day.
If I know we're going to get a lot of people asking about where they can get more information on that. If anybody wanted to reach out, where's the best place to do so?
Yeah, they can reach me on info@daytrading.com or on Twitter @daytrading.
Great stuff. Anything else? Anything else top of your list this morning?
We have 3 tickers. OBLG, as we talked about, it was moving up 60%, but the probability of going down before the market opened was very high. Then we have TNON, which is a tiny float, 500,000 float only, trading already 10 million shares. So it rotates the float like 20 times. So it gives us a lot of probability to move up, but right now it's trading under VWAP. So we will look for these shorts against the VWAP, against the 850 price. If it gets over there and hold during the day, we might see a squeeze up later because of the rotation of the float. 20 times the whole company has traded already and the market hasn't opened yet. And then we have, again, MNPR, which is another tiny float, around 2 million float, and trade a lot of volume already. Expensive locates on this one, but it's kind of strong around the VWAP, around the 520. So if it opens there and hit the highs of the pre-market, we might see a nice run with this one.
Luis, great to have you back. Great insight as always. Here's to a great Thursday. Best of luck, and we'll touch base again soon.
Thank you very much, Brendan.
And I know there's some viewers who are like, oh, I'm hungry for the paella. I wish I was in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's a pleasure to have Luis back. That Tenon with that ridiculously low float, that looks a little bit spicy. It's a little spready, though. I'd be cautious with that. But it is doing the typical, like that reverse split dip and then breakout has been it's been a solid setup in a general sense, where you've had some continuation, at least the first day when that happens. So I think this one, it stands out to me based on that float, but it is trending. Unfortunately, it's trending down for now. But sometimes they lull you to sleep, these low float runners, a little bit earlier on in the morning or late into the morning. If they haven't broken back above VWAP, people give up on them, and then all of a sudden the volume comes right back in. So you're going right into the market's not doing a heck of a lot. Nvidia comes right back into that closing range. It needs to break back to the 117. I'm in here at 90s, but I want to see it get back into VWAP as well. What's weird about today is when you look at, I don't remember the last time I saw an overnight that kind of looked like this. So this cuts in both directions. The NASDAQ was dead flat pretty much the entirety of this morning and the overnight and all that stuff. So if we were to break down, there is a sizable gap back into 19. And we're going to go over the futures in a second. But if that happens, I don't even want this long again unless we're at 114. I feel like the gap underneath 116.5 can take you to 114 easy, or at least the 115 area on Nvidia. And that's because of what the futures have done. We had such a big rally yesterday. For there to be no dip, no pullback, no break, nothing in the afternoon is a bit odd. So be a little bit cautious here. Also, Moderna still has no bid. It's wild. Hopefully there's some liquidity on when that stock opens up. But it might be really, really bad for Moderna today. It's ridiculous. I thought we'd maybe get a shot if they open at a flat bottom break, but it broke early, like an hour ago, unfortunately.
Moderna went.
Moderna's at $69.
Right, yeah.
I mean,
looking at that breaking through. Yeah, the 70 would have been key. It's great to have Luis back on because now we get some more talk about some of those, the low float runners and some different strategies that perhaps Neil and I, don't trade obviously as often as other places. So it's great to have his expertise back in there. Sharif is one of the guys that trades some of these names on the midday show. So get ready for that as well. I'll put Sharif on the spot right now. What are you guys doing this day on the midday?
Fibonacci fan lines, Katina, man. We started with gan lines yesterday. What would it be if we didn't do Fibonacci fan lines? Fibonacci. I'll get it.
Who's this
You want to say some of these Italians or what? What's going on?
Hey, man. Look, I may look like a plumber, but I don't know. I don't pronounce it like a plumber, Katina, man. So
I like that. Shout out to the Mario brothers.
All right, let's do the future. All right, guys, 55.61 is where we closed out yesterday on the ES September contract. We're well above that 5,500 area that we had trouble with yesterday, taking that level decisively. The next level we're looking at here is 55.80 as resistance. We already got above there in the pre-market. If we clear 55.80, we're using it as support. Then we got to look at 5,600. We had resistance there back in July, and then we also used it as support all throughout August, guys. So let's see how we do.
All right. If you haven't done so, go down to the description of this video right now. There's a link waiting for you there for the watch list. Very, very simple. All you have to do is enter your email address, and then we send you everything you need to know every single day in the pre-market, including individual stocks with fresh news. And coming soon, the Fibonacci predictions from Sharif every single day. That was great.
All right, thanks.
That was great.
Thanks, baby.
No, it was great.
That's
it was
enough.
great. You have to trademark that immediately. Let's talk about chips, semiconductors. I mean, Nvidia it continues to lead. There's no significant news as far as Nvidia is concerned this morning. I just saw AMD lagging a little bit here, 0.4%, trying to bounce, a little bit of volume coming into that. We mentioned Micron, if you were with us in the first half an hour, 8:30 to 9 o'clock. Double downgrade coming through for MU today.
Yeah, so Nvidia had a monster day yesterday, guys. Over 400 million shares traded on Nvidia. Jensen Huang was obviously at the Goldman Sachs, I think it was Cornucopia conference or something like that. Anyway, in any event, the market liked what it heard yesterday. Nvidia had a monster day. Can't say the same for Micron. We mentioned this in the earlier part of the show, but it got a double downgrade there from Exane BNP Paribas from outperform to underperform, dropping the price target, Brendo, from 140 to 67, essentially saying the market now is filled with high bandwidth memory and it's dropping the price and eating into margins.
At some point, this comes into significant levels. I was just checking. If you go out a month, we're still positive, but only 4% here. Only 4% on the month now for Micron.
Like, that's basically a fluke on the timing of when the month started. Like, it allows you to just absolutely cherry pick it. It is what it is. Micron does not look good, and it has been one of the worst. I mean, obviously, Intel's had a rougher time of it, but it's been one of the worst. The only thing, like I said, the only thing for caution for me is when you get like an upgrade or a downgrade, when you're already upgrade at the highs, downgrade at the lows, tend to be a little bit finicky. I thought we'd get maybe a little bit of a press to short, whether you get 90.91, like that seems a little bit nuts, but at least a press back into pre-market highs where this thing held 88.80 or 89 from the morning range. Like, I'd rather pop and fade this, have it trap some people into a reversal play, and then look for shorts on something like Micron. And as rightfully mentioned, obviously Nvidia's starting to come back in here, but as mentioned, AMD lost the 150 level. And the difference between AMD and Nvidia, obviously, one's been a lot stronger than the other, is it's like it did a very good percentage move, but it's where it got to here and the way that it got to the 50 period and is now just stalling out at the 150. I'm a little concerned if it can't break 150 today. You don't want to be long unless it's holding over 150 on AMD or allowing it to try to fill in some of this gap. Like 147 is a level, 144 I have as a level on AMD. I'm worried about the fact that it couldn't hold on to this 150 level. And the difference is, AMD did a nice move yesterday and then goes right into a bit of a chop zone here at the 150, unfortunately for them. And so I'm not as bullish on AMD as I was yesterday at all. Nvidia is now holding above 117 again, just a little bit different, holds that gap really nicely. And on Nvidia, sorry, I've not split adjusted our charts there. On Nvidia, I love the strength in which it's able to hold right in here on these dips. But the bid is starting to come back in again on Nvidia. So it's coming right back into this bid. It's now the third time we're going to retest yesterday's close. I don't know if I want to reload it a third time before the open, but Yeah, I'm going to short pops on Micron. I just don't know if we're going to get a big enough one. I'll be open to other ideas like maybe VWAP or something that sets up, but I don't want to chase it at the lows. Feels like a trap.
Yeah, I'm going to be waiting at $90 for sure. So I actually just tweeted this out, and it's actually here. We go the Fibonacci tool right here. So if you don't, so I put some levels on some stocks with the Fibonacci, and it's actually quite nice, that tool. So thanks to Sharif for bringing that up. That was a good one. I will be looking into that, as a technique to trade with the Fibonacci. So Micron right there, same thing. I actually wanted to look at Intel and ARM. I think Intel could break 20, and I think ARM could break 140.50. So we're already into we're already in Nvidia, so we don't have to talk about that too much. Neil's already talked about Micron, so let's just go over quickly on ARM. So I already have this order in to break 140.50. I mean, it's had a nice move down. That's it right there. It's yesterday's high. If we could take that out, let's go long on ARM. ARM down 2%. So yeah, it's going to have to get going. Normally we don't like to go long on weaker names, but it won't be weaker if it takes that out. So that's what we'll try to do that up here, 140.50. That's ARM. I mean, it's funny because Intel just keeps going down. Like when I was looking at it this morning, it's not down that much, but it's down 10 cents. Like if it was up 10 cents, we'd get a lot closer to this $20 level. So I like it. We'll see if we can break higher here. Here's 20 right here. So we've been here before, only last week. We failed at it and fell off of that. So I just thought strength in the market, play momentum is what I wrote down on the sticky note today. The momentum's been long the last couple of days. Nice move yesterday for Intel. It's very possible that it continues it. The thing is, I don't want to get discouraged and not put that order in because yesterday at noon, if we're going to talk about noon, yesterday at noon it was 1870. It ended the day at 1970. So you get $1 up at the end of the day. So there is some continuation play here possibly in Intel. Not down as much as Micron or ARM or anything like that, but also not up. So we'll wait to see what happens with Nvidia here, trying to hold that 117. And then we didn't really talk about AMD. I haven't looked at AMD in a while. I wanted to sort of look at this. It's been around that 150 marker, and that was a good level yesterday. So instead of trading ARM, I mean, you could. The thing is that I always look at AMD and Nvidia as kind of the same. That's a great break spot as well. So, wow, that was almost $10 too. I just talked about Intel going $1. Yeah, this from the very bottom.
But ARM did it too.
We had 107.50. That's 107.50 on Nvidia, and Nvidia closed up $10, and so did this. So this is again more expensive than Nvidia, but you could definitely play this break, I would think as well, 150.50 if you're an AMD bull. I don't know. I didn't even look at the AMD, so that's a little bit surprising. SOX L we traded yesterday. We'll maybe on that today, but for me, Nvidia, ARM, Micron, Intel.
This portion of the show brought to you by our friends over at Moomoo. Once again, they're shaking up the investing game with their cash sweep program, offering an incredible 8.1% APY on uninvested cash, far surpassing typical stock returns. This all-in-one app is backed by the NASDAQ and the SEC and ensures your funds are safe with FDIC insurance up to $500,000. Your cash earns interest 24/7, and you can access it anytime to reinvest when the market turns. Plus, sign up now, snag 15 free stocks as a bonus and up to $2,300 in Canada. Don't let your money sit idle. Make it work for you. Anyone with money in Moderna, not working for them today. 14%, just surpassed 14% to the downside here this morning. I mean, you and I were just going over some of these numbers. I mean, they weren't actually that bad, but this is kind of how Moderna trades on news. Either way, really, it can be up 20%, it can be down 14%.
Very volatile. And anybody who lived through the pandemic will remember this one going to several $100s, now trading obviously 68 and change. Big move down, 14%. Here's a look. So they want to reduce costs by about $1.1 billion. They want to pause or discontinue some of the efforts that they have and focus on what they call their high potential projects. They have about 10 products that they want to launch by 2027. 5 are respiratory shots. The other 5 are not. Some of the things that are in the product pipeline, Brendo, RSV vaccine, flu vaccine, these are the ones that caught my eye. The norovirus vaccine and a cancer vaccine that they're actually working with Merck on. So we'll have to see how that all works out, but the market making them pay today.
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to distance themselves, as you were saying, from the pandemic talk, but don't think it's working yet. I was just double checking. Yeah, I mean, it's almost 1 million shares here so far this morning from Moderna.
It's doing volume. It's just none of that volume is sitting on the bid right now for Moderna. So you're going to get, well, I shouldn't say for sure, but the next thing for Moderna, you've got this low from 2023, which is in the mid 60s. But you've already flat bottom broken the 52-week low $4 ago, which was 71.5, and it just continues to fall. So it's frustrating because you look at it, it's like 8 o'clock is when you had the breakdown, and there has not really been much of a bid since on Moderna. It's going to open up well over 10% to the downside, obviously 15% down, so it would be in play for an SSR bounce. But my first thought is, if it gets to VWAP, why not fade it again on mRNA? As he said, maybe you don't think it's all that bad, but if the street wants $3.7 billion in revenue for next year, and you give a guidance range of 2.5 to 3.5, that's not going to cut it when it's already an out-of-favor stock. You know what I mean? Like, this is not, you don't get the benefit of the doubt when you look like this. That's just not how it works. So, they're not getting the benefit of the doubt whatsoever. And that's something to do with it. If a better company has that same report, maybe things work out differently. I'd rather fade pops on this. I wish we had a chance at that flat bottom break. Maybe it pulls back up to reclaim that 71.50 or give us VWAP or something along those lines here with mRNA. Nasty, nasty day for them.
Yeah, I can't believe it's already that low right now. I feel like you want to play pops and then drop it, but I don't know. Moderna could just keep on falling, and if you don't get in immediately, it may not stop. I was just looking at Pfizer right now, $30. We talked about this. Again, another play that's a little different. Not anywhere near bottoms right now. We did bottom out back in April, down to $25, which was, again, a really well-supported base. They have that dividend and, always working on new things. So I'm not going to pretend to know enough about any of the pipelines. But to me, just technically, you're above the 50 period moving average. You're now above the 200. Look at this thing. Love the 200 period moving average. Was resistance there, then broke it and ripped, then bounced right off of it. I mean, I think Pfizer is a great trade, and I'm long the name, and I down here to 28 looks healthy to me. I think we can get to 31, and if it breaks 30, I think it keeps going. So to me, you want to take a little bit less risk, maybe 20 or 30 cents of risk to try to make 20 or 30 cents. I think a break of $30 here. And again, if you're on a prop floor, you can hit that with 1,000 shares and make or lose $200. Like I just think it's worth doing something like that on Pfizer. If it breaks 30, it still has a ways to go. It's flat on the day. NASDAQ flat on the day. ES basically flat on the day. So, this could be a name that eventually Whoops, what am I doing? This could be a name that eventually goes up, Pfizer. So we'll wait to see where that goes here today. So I'd rather look at that than Moderna, but Moderna's going to be on watch. So just bounced off 67 again. Yeah, 70, 71. Here, I'll just show you Moderna because I'm talking about it. We still have 13 minutes or so here. I would still say that's where VWAP is. So I would say 71. We always like to play fades back up to VWAP or dips into VWAP. And right now, because the stock is so down, you'll have to play the rip back up if you wanted to fade anything. So between 70 and 71 for Moderna for me as a trade.
Roku, next on the list here. I was just checking 1.5 times relative volume so far in the pre-market this morning. Short float's not that much. It's about 9%, but that's 3.5 days to cover, which might be the more important part of that. But 2 days in a row here. Huge day yesterday for Roku, went out on the highs, as most tech did. But here we go. Wolf Research with the upgrade this morning. About to take out the highs here. 74, back to 74 for Roku.
Yeah, it's up $10 in 2 days. Not a bad look. We'll see where it closes. Here's a look, though. Wolf Research upgrading this from peer perform to outperform, boosting the price target to $93. Basically, the analyst who's covering this says the company is now focused on monetization more than they have been in the past, and that supports acceleration of revenue. So we'll have to keep a look out there. Also, cost structure being well taken care of there. They're trimming their cost, and they're seeing that as a positive factor. But Brendo, I got to show this double top over here. It wouldn't be doing this chart justice if I didn't show this double top at $500 back in the pandemic, and the break in the neckline there at $300 lots of room to get back.
Yeah, I mean, like we were just saying, you know, $10 billion market cap, revenue is $3.7 billion. There's definitely a gap there somewhere. I mean, they have $2 billion cash on hand, but I mean, yeah, zoom out if you want to look at Roku today.
You know, that's not as bad as some other companies. I forget, what was that other? There was some stock they were trading, or not trading, but talking about like last week that was 3,000 price, price to sales, which I had never seen before on a name that was up like ASTS. I think it was it Astus? Maybe it was Astus. It doesn't really matter. But Roku here, 200 period gone. It's got a big gap to be filled here. Obviously, everyone can look at it. It got absolutely dumped from $100 down to 60. So it feels like a continuation play, and you're dead on, you guys. It matters more about the bid to cover for that shortfall. So yeah, it's not gigantic, but it's 3 days to cover. That does mean it's a significant short float name. What's weird is the lack of volume in the pre-market. Like, it feels like I'm seeing a couple 100,000, but then some of that was in this dark pool dump in here. So it's not really a ton of volume here on Roku. And you always play that game of previous resistance turning into support. Oops, wrong way. And that support level in theory would be about $71 in here, like 70, 75 into the 200 period moving average, which doesn't provide you with a lot of, you know, I don't like it if it goes all the way down there. If we fall all the way back into 71, that's nasty. This might just be where you have to find a way to trend into it. So from let's pick a level and go, nothing stands out for me on Roku except that I would like to be joining a trend if I can find it. Could be a 75 break. Maybe we get dips into VWAP, but yeah, this isn't one I'd want to necessarily be short. Like, even if the market comes down, I feel like this is a squeeze type of name. And if the market does reverse on us, this can be the kind of thing you can look for possibly to the long side. But good look for Roku in here. Not a lot of pre-market volume. Surprise. Up 6%, good shortable name, but you know, it's not really doing a lot of action. Weird.
I like what Brendan was talking about there as far as the market cap and the cash on hand and its revenues and everything like that. I mean, I think it can definitely work out. Just averaging in right here. 2 Nvidia came into 75, so we'll take another bid right here. We're long at 117. Let's just see if it wants to hold. We're going to get out if it breaks 116. Yesterday's close is right here. Like, we've already sort of mentioned that. So we'll wait to see 116.50, something like that as an out. Wait, hold on a second. No, I put 116 break, yeah. So we're going to have to get down into here, lose about $1, which is right in and around here. Could happen right off the jump. So we're well prepared for this. If it does come down, we will punch ourselves out of that trade. All right, we still have a couple names to go through, so let's do this right now. Google, is it a long? Let's go find out.
Yeah, let's talk about Google here. There's a couple things to understand. Reversing right now, once again, after it just made a new high, about 1.6%. To the upside, we learned a little bit more about some of the regulatory restrictions they're going to put into place when it comes to their AI. Nothing terribly exciting yesterday from that end of the spectrum. I mean, another one that went out on the highs yesterday, along with the rest of tech. So can we make it 2 in a row here for Google?
It's interesting. Yeah, we already kind of mentioned that issue that they're having in Ireland with the digital protection impact assessment that they didn't conduct, that they were required to conduct statutorily. There's also the issue of OpenAI now being possibly valued here at $150 billion. Obviously, Google not short on money, but you know, I kind of feel like most of the players are really putting their betting on the OpenAI horse to really win the race here. I use Gemini every day, and I got to tell you, the difference between ChatGPT and Gemini is becoming stark every day. You feel ChatGPT is going one way, Gemini not so much, and that's just the way I use it. So
you begrudgingly use Gemini every single day?
I don't begrudgingly.
Yeah, it's 21% off the highs as of the close yesterday. That was a weekly chart. So the close of last week, 21% off the highs for Google.
Oh no, begrudgingly.
No, I mean, but the key thing is uses it every day.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't begrudgingly use something every single day. Like,
I mean, that's what they want to do, right?
You know what? I begrudgingly go home to my loving wife and daughter every single day.
Yeah.
It's hard to do, but I find it.
I mean, you can lay the Finobachis on Google and get a really, really good.
Okay, I need to explain myself for a second. So Gemini is a lot faster than GPT because it has a lot fewer users. but it's a lot weaker in terms of actually what it's able to do, guys. So I use it for speed. I don't actually use it because I'm enjoying how bad it is. Thank you.
Fair enough. Look, I actually like Google.
How much slower is it to use it to have how much slower? Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. No, because I think if I just think if it's producing a weaker quality thing, like I could wait 20 seconds.
I've never had. Look, I don't have really much trouble. I find whatever I'm in, like whatever. Like I'll use Llama, I'll use Perplexity, I'll use Gemini, I'll use ChatGPT. It's like whatever's at the fingertips. I feel like they're all pretty comparable. Just quickly on Alphabet, look, I don't think we're gonna get the 151 that we want. So in lieu of that or the previous close, which is at 151, a little bit higher than that, I think I just got to look at pre-market lows and VWAP. I mean, the market is starting to come back in here, so maybe you do get a deeper dip dive into Alphabet. I was saying adjacent to Alphabet was just going to be Apple 222 over under for me because the 50 period on Apple has been, whoops, that's Blue Ocean. The 50 period on Apple on the daily chart has been like a gravity well towards it. It has retested that level almost every single day. I think there's a decent chance it happens again. I think it's longs over. I think it's shorts under on AAPL. But Google 151 is a price I like, and we really have to wait for it to get all the way down there.
All right, yeah, I didn't. We started talking about this earlier. I didn't write anything down for Google. I mean, it's up too much in my opinion. The Nasdaq's down. This has been a beat down name. I would rather go short on it than long, but hard to ignore the strength today. So, yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at a 20-minute chart to sort of spread it out a bit. I mean, I would think then if the long is going to be good, then any dips into 151 would be great. I don't know if we can get to that. And then we talked about this. I almost think a fade in around 156 if we can do that. So we'll wait to see what is happening now with Google up here at 156 versus 158. So, you know, some decent opportunities to short Google if we come into this early September levels. Still only one position. We're still holding on to Nvidia. But yeah, so I think a decent short up there, 156 to 158.
Live demonstration ready. All right, baby, let's go. So it's going to summarize an article. So we're going to actually launch ChatGPT first to give this one a bit of a head start. Brendo, why not? You know, I'm making the claim. All right, so it's going to summarize the article, identical articles. Let ChatGPT work. Let Gemini work. Wow. Gemini's done. ChatGPT still are. All right. All right. Point mail. Too bad.
Come on, ChatGPT.
I'm right.
All right, let's wrap things up here. A couple of minutes ago, Palantir, back to the highs. We almost took out the highs there this morning from yesterday. We're basically flat on the morning compared to the past couple of days. Nothing new on Palantir to talk about today, but all kinds of strength so far this week.
Oh, yeah. After the addition, Brendo, into the S&P 500, it's been a good look, but it's kind of been consolidating a little bit between that $34 and that $35 area. Had a nice bump up there with the overall market when we really moved up, but there's really nothing new except that blue box yesterday that apparently we're all waiting to hear about. I still haven't heard anything about it.
I don't think anything ever came from that, but we'll keep waiting, I guess, for whatever's in the box.
What's in the box? What's in the box? What's in the box? What a great
What's in the box is faster processing speeds. That's why Gemini is attached to the box.
Oh, it's not a head?
No.
Oh.
All right, Palantir right here. I mean, it's on the sticky note. It's in the sticky note again right now, breaking through $35. I mean, I think this high of 35.20, it's the 52-week high. The last time we were here at 52-week highs, we busted it through, and it was a huge trade. So that was back at 33.10, I think. It really worked the rest of the day. But again, it's just, when Palantir went that day, it was already up 8%, right? It was coming into a big move overnight, and then we took it out right here at 33.10, and then we just kept on going the rest of the day, closing basically where we are right now. So I think that break right there of 35.20 could come into play. It happened again. So that's 2 times that we have that indicator. I like the stock. I like everything about it. But we're already been up here a couple times. Let's just play the break. If it doesn't work, we can get out at 35. It's a pretty easy. I wrote down on here easy. It's just the play is there. If you like it, you take it. If you don't, you don't. But I mean, I'm going to take that breaking through 35. I think I wrote down 35.25. But at the end of the day, that high of the 52-week high is what we want to play on Palantir for me. Pretty simple stuff there.
Yeah, I mean, we have like 1 minute to go. I mean, I tweeted the same thing. I actually have 35 as the actual even break because there was one crazy wick at the open that took you to 35.25 up here just a couple of days ago. But we did have the imbalances drop in here, guys. So there wasn't a heck of a lot. Let me just quickly sort there. There wasn't a heck of a lot. See gold up there, ABEV, but nothing really doing on the imbalance locator early. Palantir is a small buy at 116,000. The dump zone on Moderna, I don't want to say it's ended, but for the first time, it actually bounced pretty significantly. Moderna bounced off 67, got to 69.5. It was on its way to that 71 in VWAP, but now pulling back into the lows. Want to look for a place to short this one. 71.50 was the previous 52-week low. So if it gets into that 71 area, I think the pop and fade can be on for mRNA. The other I paid for locates on DJT. It made a high yesterday on DJT. You can see it very clearly at 16.8. It was a short at the open, but then after that, pre-market high was the afternoon high. If it gets through this, it could squeeze, but as long as it's under 1680, I think it's a continuation short for them. Whoops. The countdown, which is a little bit late because I hit it a couple seconds late there, is brought to you by Firefly. But Adara, ring it now because the market is open on this good Thursday. What was that? On this Thursday.
Thursday, yeah. Okay, so Nvidia, we're waiting for that one. It's still waiting to go.
Wow, Micron.
We're in. Yeah, I mean, Micron's instantly tanking down. I still have that 85 break. We'll try it, but wow, it's coming in a lot now, Micron. $86, $85.50 now. I mean, the whole market's coming in, so watch out now. Here comes
Except
Nvidia.
for Google.
Google's going up, okay. Nvidia might break 116. That's our out if it does that. Micron just bounced off that low of 85, like almost to the penny. So wait out for that one, 85.13. Yeah, here we go. So we'll be out of these trades when they break. This is not a catch the falling knife situation right now. Let's just wait on this one. We'll get stopped out once, there we go, once it breaks. So there it goes through 116. We should have been a little bit more diligent on that and maybe taken 116.50 when that happened in hindsight. But okay, so a quick little loss there on that play. Now let's wait to see. That again, we talked about how many shares we use in the pre-market versus every other time. So, all right, here comes Micron right now. We're in.
Yeah, it just made the break. Palantir, obviously no 35 break incoming, and Moderna, you've got to be kidding me. That was absurd. To the downside on Moderna. It broke the low and just went another $1.50 to the downside. So you can almost stick a fork in that. You're getting a huge reversal on not just Nvidia, but Google's making a pullback as well. So I'm trying to get into this Moderna after this flat bottom break in here. Do want to be short this. I thought we'd be able to short the pop, but this stock doesn't care.
There we go. Back to Greensville right now as we hit Micron. So Micron just goes down. Our best fills there in the 30s, by the way, on Micron. That might have been it. We got 36s out on Micron out of more than half of that trade, but it is coming back up. So watch out for that play. I mean, where are we going to be wrong on it is sort of the question right now. We're already wrong if it keeps on going back up, but that just wicked up to 85.60. So again, you got to let some of these stocks settle down a little bit. VWAP's at 86.30 right now. So I think that's probably where we'll wait to see where Micron can go from here. But we are short that name. Neil keeps saying Google over there. Is it still going up like the market?
No.
Okay, because I was going to say the
monster reversal on Google. So I did jump into Micron underneath 67. Look, it's always risky going short at the bottom. I'll try to give it a buck. It's already traveled like $10 this morning. It's ridiculous. I should have had that first pop to the south side. But Google might want to get that 151. I said I'd look at pre-market lows for Alphabet, but it's really a kind of a loose level. It's like 152.5-ish. Where there was some support on this bad boy. Just going on over to Tesla. I know there's a lot of names that we didn't talk about today. Apologies. Tesla's breaking highs as the market goes lower. So just very quickly, this is all of a sudden looking very strong again. Remember the breaks that couldn't get through that 227 in the afternoon? Well, we're almost there right now on Tesla. So relative strength in Tesla. So apologies for not mentioning that stock, but Moderna took it through 67. It just tagged 66 and is flying back up. Wow. Remember, this is SSR. This could be a trap at the bottom here. I'm starting to think on Moderna. I feel like if this is holding, I feel like if this is holding, should have been all out for that dollar because Moderna, we wanted it short at 71 and you're taking 67. I'm jumping out of this thing and letting it get back in and settle down because I feel like trapping yourself at the low of the day in there, maybe not the best way to go. That wasn't the plan of action.
what a flush.
On mRNA was to short the bottom. I took it anyways, but I'm going to jump out of Dodge and let this one calm down a bit. You can see down 15%. That's always tricky at the open, taking one of those breakdowns. If you're trapped, this could go $4 to the upside and then be a short then.
We went over and tried to punch Google long and missed it.
Wow,
That's
Tesla.
so stupid. What a move back. Well, look at this move down on Palantir, man. It gets to 34.53 as if.
34.
Huge move down and then a huge move back up on Palantir. So the market got flushed there, like as if. Like, I don't know. Nvidia's all the way back up now into 117 again. So play the strength in like many strong names and you would be fine. Right now we're playing weakness in Micron, and we're short right now at 85.10s. Looks like it wants to keep going to the upside right now, which is fine. We've taken out some, but we put those shares back on. We were going to use VWAP. It's now at 86. I was going to give it a little bit more than that, just because of how violent the name is, and I want to try to hold on to things for a little bit longer if we can. So we'll wait to see if Micron wants to be that name for us today. Palantir still at 35, so we've got minutes to go before that one tries to take out the top. Let's just see what happened on Intel. We did want to look at 20. Everything is going to look like this, so we still have to be patient and wait for our levels to come in because everything dumped and everything's back. So we'll have to wait on all of those plays. Nothing over there and only Micron right here right now.
No, Palantir's at 99.
Yeah, I know.
So Palantir's breaking imminently. That 35 level. Man, Tesla's really on one. I didn't get over there fast enough as that took out previous close through 228. So we're gonna have to go dip buy hunting on Tesla. Palantir, every time I say it's about to break and then I'm staring at it, it goes right to 35. It's still at 34.98.99. It's trying to break. I have a limit order to go through when it finally does. Hey, that's the first time that I've mentioned a breakout. And then it actually broke while we were alive here instead of just me sitting around waiting for it to happen. So let's see. Obviously, there's that 35.25 wick from a couple of days ago. I think it was 2 days ago, I'm pretty sure. 35.25, there was a wick the last time it got above 35 even. I think there might be some sellers in there. I have my stop underneath VWAP because I think if we pull back, you could get to yesterday's close. If you lose that, that's at 85. If you lose that, I think you could go anywhere to the downside. The market's trying to do a bit of a V-shaped recovery, on the first wick, because it's only 5 minutes in. But the market now headed back into the upside. Some strong names out there. Google gave it to you. Palantir gone. Tesla is absolutely flying, as I mentioned. But it's Google, I feel like it was the biggest miss. Because Google was strong all morning long. There was never a moment that Alphabet looked bad for the long, except for like a couple of seconds at the open. That shouldn't have been enough to get away from this dip buy.
We have Amazon written down here as being strong, and I actually just went over there and put in the wrong. I put in 185, and I was going to put in a VWAP trade here at 184.60, but instead I put 185.60. So you're going to see me get in and out there for flat on Amazon. So if you saw that pop in there, we're waiting for down here VWAP at 185. Now it's changing, but I was at 05. So it's still basically right there as it continues to work higher there. I like Amazon higher than the market. The market's down. Amazon's up. VWAP here, 50 period there. I like the long, but obviously it's got to come in there. I see Palantir is getting
Moderna is
to
the biggest
level.
mistake.
Yeah, Moderna. And then Micron. Micron just went into the money, man. It just bounced off 85 again. So I'm just wondering, like we're short there. It just bounced off 85 flat. So watch out now as we get VWAP right here at 86 now for Micron. There goes Palantir. We just took a break of 20. And again, let's just try to get some more out here. Hopefully, not some more out. Let's get some out here. And hopefully it continues to break a little bit higher.
The carp are flying around here. You just got to catch them all over the place.
There's
They're
so
like
many trades.
I don't know, Alex Carp.
Carp. Yeah. I think you said cart.
Oh, the carp. I was trying to do a pun on Palantir. So
yeah. Let's see.
No, but it's at that 35.20. I have an off. Man, the second I saw 25 on the offer, it kind of stalled there for a split second. I threw one in there. I think we're going to go dip buys back into the 35 even. Apologies for not going to the daily chart once. That's the daily chart. It looks fantastic. 2 set upside. But there was a mistake by me on mRNA. I jumped out of that trade thinking I didn't want to get trapped at the bottom. Look at the wick. That's me. We're able to get 67 down into like 66.40 was an out, and then it comes right back in and to the low of the day. Like I wick out there back through 67 even, and look at this thing absolutely fly to the downside. VWAP's going to be in play for me on that bad boy, and Nvidia, yeah, like Nvidia lost a bit, and now Nvidia is all over it once again. So I think it was one of those like rinse jobs, was trending to the downside. It now just seems to want to take out the top. This market is doing it again. They're doing that thing where they rinse everybody only to go ham to the upside. Dara?
Beware here of GRRR coming back down right now, but increasing volume here off the open. This one announcing here that they're going to have this $6 million share buyback because they believe the stock to be undervalued, stating that explicitly. Worth noting as well here, we're going to float of about 9.5 million shares, 4.5% of which are sold short for GRRR.
Grrr.
Right.
My favorite character from Invader Zim.
Palantir there goes down, and not great right now, breaking back down through, am I still on Palantir? There it is, breaking through $35 now to the downside. So we're going to get some out here and just be like, okay, maybe we're wrong. We do have some shares on board, so my average price will be about 10 or 11 now. Let's just sort of lick some of these wounds as Palantir does not continue its upside move. That's three times failed at 35.25. So we take that break there. We were able to get that at the 200 period moving average, but that still has to work out for us if we're going to do anything here today for PLTR. Let's see if it wants to work. All right, and what was a good trade early might not be late here as Micron is starting to go back up there to the upside. I mean, I'll take a market rip because that will be good for Palantir, but definitely right now not great for our positioning on Micron up to 86. We were going to use VWAP. At the time, it was 86.40, so that's kind of where I've left it now. But yeah, the market's getting spicy here to the upside on some of these chip names as wow, Nvidia. Like, this one's I mean, we didn't have that many shares, so like P&L wise, this is why I'm not like panicking about anything. It's fine, but that was huge move right back up to the top here for Nvidia wanting to work out, and looks like it's going to here for anybody long that name. Dip buy opportunities again on Nvidia seem to be the case.
Yeah, it'll be one of those types of mornings because, I mean, Tesla's at $230. So, you know, that 228, you can pretty much forget about that. It's absolutely gonzo to this point. I think you still have a chance for Nvidia because it could pull back into VWAP. That previous close that I liked at 116.5, like it lost that, came right into the 16 level, lost that and went to 15, but higher lows can be the play here. So you just got to be patient with it. If we can get a trend into the pre-market high before it breaks, all it has to do is hold the 17, the higher low of the 116.5, and we'll jump into this one looking like it's going to be one of those like dip and rip type of mornings. Palantir did come into the previous close. I got out when it broke VWAP, but the previous close was 34.85. VWAP was just a line. And that's 34.85 immediately came back in. So I got back in when it broke back above VWAP. I'd like to see it break 35.05 again because you don't want this to turn into a topping tail wick candle. So I'm not going to reload this unless it's holding above the 35 level. Google's starting to come back in here as well. So with the market making that bounce, Google just lost VWAP. That's not necessarily good. Alphabet was strong. I don't like that. All right, we were thinking dip buy in Google, but usually I want it holding that higher low. Hold the VWAP in here and hold me that higher low, and I'll like that a little bit better. Moderna is still slowly bleeding to the downside. No, 17% doesn't seem like it's slow, but compared to what it was doing earlier, not a lot of movement. I don't want to short at the bottom. I'd like to get a pop in here to VWAP to be able to short that. So Palantir is back above 35 even. It's starting to stay the course, and Nvidia doesn't seem to want to dip for us to get into this bad boy. It might just be a top side break here on Nvidia. 118. Ooh, might just have to.
What is ARM doing? Yeah, we're still in Palantir, trying to take a little bit out here as it goes. ARM is not near that 140 marker. Nvidia is still going. So again, we just had a great. There goes Palantir. So Micron, we just had another opportunity to get out for basically flat. I mean, it went down to 50s. We would have lost 25 cents there. Feel bad because now it looks like the whole market wants to start ripping again. So this Micron trade of a short of 85 is not going to be the play for me today. But we're still holding it out. If it breaks higher than what we've been at right now, we are out of that trade. Good outs for Palantir again. We were able to get some of that bottom, and then we just got some there again at 14s, at 12s, and at 14s or 15s. So now it's starting to come back in. Wow, what a roller coaster day just on 3 names so far today. Nvidia, Micron, and Palantir. We do have some shares on board, so would like to see one of them work out for us here. And hopefully that one can be, well, hopefully it'll be both. But right now, Micron is struggling at that $86 mark. It looks like it wants to go higher here. Was that a call for somebody, or we're all good?
So speaking of...
You're on DJT.
Yeah, speaking of things that, just very quickly, things that broke out or didn't break out, DJT just went straight to the downside. I said I wanted to short 1680 on a continuation. Well, it broke down right away. I'm going to look for VWAP or 1625. I want to see it curl and pop and fade here to join the trend back in. Let's go over to Adara. That was a call.
Just keep an eye on 10 on medical here, TNON. This one up more than 200 or around 200% as of right now. It's already halted. Strong volume off the open. No new catalyst on this, though this stock did undergo a reverse split effective September 6th. So it's been trading post for that 1 to 8 reverse split for a few days now. They do have a really small float, around 425,000 shares, $1.5 million market cap. Lots of social media attention for TNON, guys.
Enon? Oh,
That's
man.
the one Luis was on.
Yeah, that is.
Good luck, Luis.
Look at
that bad boy.
Nvidia.
Yeah, Nvidia just took 118. What's interesting is pre-market high technically is at the 25 level. So it kind of didn't break the pre-market high. We always talk about this with even. Don't always play the even dollar levels there. And the market's really trying to go. I don't know how much I love it at this level. I should be taking the break at the quarters instead of the evens on NVDA. It is what it is. I'll just trim some and then take the break. If it breaks to the top, I'm going to have this one again. So I'm going to try and be relatively tight with this stop, I think. I just took some out there. The high is 118.25. It's here. It's not at 18 at all. It's 118.25 on Nvidia. So I don't think we got the right level on it. If we break underneath 117, look, it's now starting to come back in here. So let me just adjust. I said I want to tighten the stops. I'm going to go ahead and do it. It needs to break the high of the day. Then we'll be a little bit better off. Palantir just lost a bid again.
Yep.
But when it wicked me out again. So the Palantir, the 35 even break was good. The dip buys just keep challenging the low and taking me out. But it's still looking okay. Like, it's green on the day. It's usually managing to recover above VWAP. You're just not getting the trend continuation that I think you want on this one yet. But I still want to give it chances above VWAP here. As long as it's holding on to the previous close price at that 34.85, we'll keep giving it some shots. So Nvidia doesn't seem to want to go past this 118 again, so I'm going to pull back off this. It never broke the high. That's at 118, actually 30. It's not even 25. Let's back off in this until VWAP, because the real break should have been 25 cents higher. It's Tesla that's really going, or was going. Wow, now that's really dipping in here. None of the shorts do I have, because I am not in Moderna. And it's starting to feel like there should at least be a couple. And as I'm getting into Nvidia, of course, that's when Moderna goes to VWAP. Already dropped $1 off of VWAP the second it got there. Moderna is sick today.
Yeah.
Not like the good kind of sick.
No. Micron, again, so it's too bad. We said one of these is probably going to work and one isn't, and it looks like Palantir is the one that does not. So we're going to go we made a lot of money on the first day on Palantir and then nothing the last two. We didn't trade it yesterday, but since that ad. So there goes Palantir. We were actually lucky on the reloads. This could have been infinitely worse for us, but I'm just holding out a very, very small piece here of this name, Palantir, as the market comes way in right now. What a good trade this has been here for Micron. It took a minute to do it, and we almost got stopped out, and we should have better pricing than we have on this name, that is for sure, but Micron right now, good levels. We just got out at 85 11s. So hopefully we can break that 85 on negativity right there. I see Nvidia just slipped up again, failing on that 118 break. It was a good try though. And then now here it comes right back in. So yeah, this market is definitely slipping up. 70 cents now in the money on Micron though, so I'm glad we have that one. We'll wait for Palantir. I don't really have a level other than where we've already bounced off today, which is also the 50 period moving average down here on the 20-minute chart. So that could be a level to reload, which is why we're holding a little piece of this just to see if we can get some actionable levels to come in and we can watch it a little bit better. But Amazon, new position alert right now for AMZN. We talked about wanting to buy this one. We're long at 185.05. We'll put something out for 30 cents if we can get it back near a little bit higher than VWAP. I was going to wait in this area for 35 or so, but we're dropping down right now. Watch out for 180. I think I should have a stop here. That's a small position, so I got to figure this out. But that's what I'm in right now. Amazon, Micron, and Palantir.
Yeah, Palantir, it lost the bid for me, and I feel like now that it's under the previous close price, I'm going to stay away from that. I'm finally into DJT, but not Moderna. We'll see what happens with that. DJT tagged VWAP, came underneath, broke the low, so shorting it back at that low into VWAP. VWAP's at 1605 with a local high at 1610. I am short this. Again, Moderna might just be... So every single chance, when it goes up, that's your opportunity to get into this thing. So that's not necessarily on the breaks down, but the next time it does a big green candle to the upside, got to look for the curl on this thing. It's absolutely bleeding to the downside as we speak, but this is starting to get a little bit nastier. Like Nvidia is about to retest underneath the pre-market lows here. You might just double tap the 115 even. So I think it was right to get out of the trade. 118 was an even number. The high of the day was above that. It wasn't even breaking out the top anyways. Let's work back into this 115. If there's going to be a bid, that could be the place that it comes. Apple, I said over under 222. It's well under 222. That sets it up. I should really be short a few things in here. Unfortunately, Moderna, the one we got out of right away, should have got out way too early on Moderna. Even if it doesn't matter if you're up or down on the stock, you should follow your plan of action. Apple looks like it's going to be heading into this 220. It's breaking 220 right now. So let's look for a pop to be able to fade. The NASDAQ's gone full reverse. We wicked the bottom and looked like we were breaking out the top, but we never broke the top. And all of a sudden that consolidation that happened all overnight, now we're trading lower. That does not look good. We went sideways the whole way only to break down. After the exuberance of yesterday, there's a lot of profit that can get taken in here. Let's go up to the desk with Adara. Oh,
yeah, not yet.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, that's okay. All right, so here we go, man. We're taking $1 now, so it's your first Dollar Club winner. We did lose on Nvidia earlier, so we did lose $1 on Nvidia, but we'll make it back on Micron. And again, the nets will be similar, so we're all good with that. By the way, fired off again for the hot dog cannon. We did buy some more. Amazon down near this bottom. I just want to see this one go to the high side now. Amazon 185.20, and we just bounced off that. So let's stick an order right in and around there. Come on, get to the downside, please, and thank you. Micron, if that would happen, that would be nice. We'll wait to see if that can come through. But right now, Amazon, 17 cents. Micron, 80 cents. Palantir, looking for a bottom. Where will we find one? Maybe soon. Let's go see Adara.
This part of the show is brought to you by Benzinga Pro. Tired of being late to the trade? Always playing catch up in the market? Missing out on the big moves because you were too slow to the news? Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else. Pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get a free 14-day trial.
All right, thank you, Adara. So we just said right when we went back from Adara, or to Adara, we said let's go try to go some long Palantir. So we just punched in at 68s, I believe, there on Palantir. So let's see if we can get a little bit higher now. We went right immediately to 80 on that play. So we'll see if that one wants to work. It looks like we're starting to get going now again. So let's just go. Hopefully we'll get a little Hydration Nation in us and feel a little bit better, because right now Amazon is trying to get back up to the upside. So we're trying to play strong names. We like Amazon for the bounce back. This name can go multiple dollars. Let's see if it wants to do that. Our breaking spot here is 184.50, which should leave us basically flat on the day if we get broken out to the downside on that one. Still $1 in the money on Micron. And that is about that, man. I mean, pretty simple stuff. I think if you were scalping Nvidia, great job up there at 118. Just pulled back in again. I mean, these names are pretty off today. Like, I'm not sure where a lot of these trades are going to wind up happening. Still really early. It's only 9:52. NASDAQ makes a move down again, now making that move back up. It looks like, Neil, buying the dips is what's going to work out. It sure is now on Amazon. 40 cents in the money over here now on AMZN. And the reload on Palantir starting to work out a little bit. 85 coming into play very soon for Palantir.
Yeah, it looks like Google might be relatively strong in here as well. But just very quickly, DJT double bottom at 1580. So we grabbed at 95 on the way back down from VWAP, but it's going right back to the upside. It's going to try and rinse and repeat this out in front of VWAP to the low as long as it wants to trend, but it does feel like Alphabet is looking like the strong one. It's just hanging on. Well, the market was making those lows. Google refused to go any lower off of 153. I kept waiting for it to test some of the pre-market bottoms here underneath 153. There was nothing happening while the market went down, so it held 153 and a third. It looks like a pretty good one here for Alphabet. So I think it's time to get long Alphabet off that level. If it breaks, if we break down the clear line of support, it's a pretty relatively easy stop to just throw it underneath the 30 level when it's held it for like 15 minutes now. So I do like what's going on with Alphabet. We're not going to get 151 unless disaster strikes in the market anyways. And we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I don't think we're getting there. But if we do, I'll be out of this trade before we break 53.
All right. The props. I mean, Amazon right now is 50 cents in the money. It's going to be a pretty clean trade for us now. It's going to be this is Micron. We only have two winners. Palantir is going to be a losing trade for me today. And then Nvidia, of course, off the jump, also a losing trade. But I did want to make sure that we still looked at names that were moving around here. ARM was something that was on my radar here today. It's trying to bounce back, it looks like, here on ARM. So there's that 138 level. Just looking to see if we like a break out into the long. I mean, this could be a decent spot, 138.50. We've seen this a couple times. Maybe a 139 on ARM if you really wanted to go. We've canceled our other trigger to get up at 140.50. We kind of liked that trade. That didn't hit. That's a bad wick there. We were just looking at it from into here, 140.50 sort of. I don't know where we found that level from. Oh, it must have just been the pre-market high. Yeah, so kind of where we were yesterday. Looking for a break, a smooth break higher, but it looks like ARM now wants to get going upside, which is fine by us, man. I mean, we're into Palantir. We got a nice little fill there. Micron, we only have 25% left of this position. We got some good outs there at 85. We were really happy to do that as we watched out for, to fall down there, Nvidia. Amazon does make that move again. We got to put another order up here. It just looks like doesn't want to get too much higher than where we are right now. We'll put an offer in the teens again, and hopefully we'll get that and sort of wash that out there. Palantir, more outs if we come up to $87. Please, guys, hit the like, hit the subscribe, support the channel, tell everybody about it, get notifications. You're going to get Sharif and Adara for Learn to Trade in the afternoon. We'll go over some Fibonacci bands, I believe. Or Fibonacci's. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I prefer those.
Or if you like, you go some Teppanyaki, get some Hibachis, things like that coming through. But that will be during lunchtime with Sharif and Adara. So stay tuned for that. All right, Amazon pulling back in, Micron pulling back down, and Palantir basically doing not much. But hey, that one trade was ARM. Yeah, we didn't set that up, so we should set that up.
It's about to break.
Is it? Okay, yeah, so there's ARM right now, trying to break these little wicks. We can see what happens there, 138.55, 139. Decent area here for ARM if you like the long. But the market's still down, so I'm going to change my opinion on ARM for now.
Yeah, I'm looking to find something that I'm going to like to the short side. I mean, outside of DJT and Moderna were names that we're looking at short the entire way. But I just saw what's going on with Intel here. And I know it's low-hanging fruit, and not to pick on them all the time, but it's down 3%. Nvidia is up 0.2. NASDAQ's down 0.1. It's clearly weaker than everything else. You saw the rollover that it's already put in. But I think this can be a nice little short-to-pop situation here for Intel. VWAP's going to sit right at afternoon support, like right at 3 o'clock. It's like 19:30. So I think if we get into there, we're going to try and short this one. Into DJT. Ooh, Google, Alphabet. Now you're going to retest that low. Here we go. We're going into that 153. So just as I say I want to grab something to short, that 153 is about to get tested on Google. If it breaks 53, I don't like any longs till close to 151, which is a ways away on Alphabet. But it's one of the few stocks that has managed to hold out some of these highs when the market was testing low. So I'm in here at 40s. We'll see if it breaks that 153 in earnest. I'll be out of the trade if it does. I'd like it to get above VWAP, and then we can work into it. But the short that I'm now looking for is going to be the next available pop on Intel, which might not even be the quarters. It might just be these 15s in here. Just take the consolidation. You take what the market gives you, not the price that you think is the absolute right place, or the only place you can take the trade has got to be VWAP. No. If it's just going to break and only go 10 to 15 cents up, then you short it there. And if I want to join the trend, that's where it might let me in here on Intel. Still not much going on for me on Moderna. It's holding the lows, and I'm waiting for it to make a pop into VWAP.
All right. Still trying to do the same stuff there. We'll take some more out on Palantir. We did get that 90 fill or 87 fill, which was the 200 period. So even though we got, I mean, really the only problem was this part, that first break of 20s. And the thing is that our best out was only 24.25, which happens to be the high of the day. And then it fell off of that. We didn't even put that, we put like 5% of our shares there. I really thought it was going to go. Then we were able to buy some back. And then that was good. That was good as well until eventually we broke through what I thought was a decent spot there of 75. There's another fill. We just get 93s there on Palantir. So there we go. So then the rebuy at 70, out now in 90s. So it's going to, like, Palantir's fine. I don't know what else to say to everybody, but it's a good trade there to buy the dip. It was not a good break early, but you got to have a little bit more risk, right? I mean, the thing is that I can't just sit here and worry too much about this stock when it only drops down 40 cents. So that's fine. We are completely comfortable with all of that. It looks like Micron wants to bounce off 85 again. I'm still a little bit lower on that play. Amazon, we got some out there at 185 when it broke a little bit lower for 40 cents. Remember, we're still 35 cents in the money on Amazon, although now it's only 20 cents, but that was a 35-cent take there. So we're lucky enough to get some of these nice bids. We could try it again right now, but we have numbers, I believe, are at least happening now at 10 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, that right.
No numbers here for the rest of the day, though we will have the 10:30 a.m. natural gas change, but no other major economic data prints. This morning, however, we did get PPI pretty much flat. Same with what we saw yesterday with CPI. So we'll have to wait and see what the Fed does ahead of next week's FOMC meeting for September. Should be an interesting one for sure. In terms of the market, we have both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ down about 1/3% as of right now. So we'll have to see how this continues because we know there have been some reversions as of late in the market. Roku, a stock on watch here, up more than 5%, getting this upgrade to outperform from Wolfe Research with a $93 price target for ROKU. Next up here, mRNA, trying to find a bit of a bottom here, but still down about 18%, announcing some business updates, including a lower than expected 2025 revenue forecast, and that they're cutting its R&D expenses by $1.1 billion by the year 2027. Last but not least, Kroger here, kind of coming down a little bit, still up about 3%, though, after a pretty mixed Q2 earnings report for KR, guys.
There you go. Good look for Kroger. Just very quickly, that ride stock from yesterday that tanked a bajillion percent, down 70 points, halted to the downside, shockingly, at $3.97. It is, it's not looking good. If it opens up, even a slight move down goes through yesterday's bottoms at 375. So it's looking pretty nasty for the stock. Again, there was a question in the chat. What is the short float on DJT? I actually don't know because we don't have any data for the short float on DJT. What I can tell you is that the expiration locks up. It looks like it's going to be on the 20th. But I don't have any short float data for DJT. So if you guys have a source, I don't have one at all. That just headed to the low of the day. But as that headed to the low of the day to break lower, Intel wicked me out. But if I get wicked out, I want back in. I thought if we broke here, we'd get to VWAP where my original target entry was going to be. But if it's just going to do the wick shimmy, where it breaks that high by like a cent or two and comes back in, I want to jump right back into the trade into these teens as long as we can get it. So it's heading back into the downside, down 2.5 points in here. But it's Nvidia that's doing something different. Nvidia gone again.
Yep.
Not the first time, it's the second time, apparently, that you have to have the breakout. Nvidia, just higher lows and now higher highs, is scamming everybody because as the market's going nowhere, Nvidia wants to go higher. So the impulse to be long Nvidia was right, the prices that we got. Not necessarily, maybe it's not the price, it's more the timing, because any price that we would have had would have been in the money. It's the timing. Got to look for the dip. If it's going to do this, higher highs and higher lows, then the safer way in the trend is to join the dip. If it's going to do this channel the entire way here. So Nvidia, 1.5 points to the upside. It's the one that's on one today.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. We're in a new position right now. It's too bad because we had that Nvidia, but like Neil said, it's all about timing. All right, so right there, Apple, we're going to go long at the quarters now. We just take something out for, we got 138s there, something like that, so we'll take a quick little bid. Our offer there as it gets lifted. So now we'll wait to see if it can go breaking through VWAP. Still down on the day. There's no doubt this is not a super sexy stock right now. What I mean by that is it doesn't have those jets underneath it. I think we could definitely get that going. We'll wait to see if it breaks through 221. I'm pretty comfortable with that as a bid, and if we lose it, maybe 220.80 as our stop. Let's average into this one. Here it goes. We'll see if we can get Apple going. And then Amazon, we were able to get 25s there. That was a good take. And then Palantir, wow, what a recovery for Palantir. Let's go over to Adara.
This part of the show is brought to you by Firefly Neuroscience. Firefly Neuroscience is revolutionizing brain health. Our groundbreaking brain network analytics technology is transforming care for patients with depression, dementia, anxiety, concussions, and ADHD. With 15 years of research and a wealth of brainwave data, we are set to illuminate the future of diagnostics and treatment. Pharmaceutical companies and medical practitioners, get ready. FDA 510K cleared BNA technology is here to supercharge your clinical trials and enhance patient care. Join us at Firefly Neuroscience, traded on the NASDAQ as AIFF, and be part of the next big leap in neuroscience. Ignite hope, one brain at a time.
Yeah. We talked about how important stuff like that is. So definitely check out all of these sponsors, and that's a good one there with Firefly. Go check them out again. All right, so just real quick, I don't know, man. We got some more out of Apple there. Apple went as high as 45s. We take that, Phil. So we'll take 20 cents here on Apple. That's where the 50 period is. Now let's see it break higher. No more offers for me on Apple. Micron. So I got nervous. Here, Micron's still a fine stock. We got more shares here at O's. We just punched some out there at 82s. And the reason why we did some of that, I mean, it's basically a flat trade. We are bidding lower, and there it comes. So yes, sir, is that I didn't want to get caught one way here with NASDAQ starting to go back upside, and I'm going long Apple, I'm long Amazon, and I just didn't want, I was too many shares here for Micron. So that's, long story short, we had to let this one breathe a little bit, so I wanted to punch a little bit out there on Micron. Looks like it could still work to the downside, but it's like Apple continuously going. That's 20 cents in the money. We just put this trade on. Amazon, not great. Palantir doesn't want to go too much. So we are out of now 70% of our Palantir as we get to the upside. Next target, like right around here, 35.15. If we can get that, great. Micron target back into the 30s, 85.30 right here. That's where I'm bidding. And then Apple bombs away, man. We already talked about that. We'll buy some more down here at 221. It actually just touched 221. Is that true? 221.20? We should have bought some there. Let's just wait to see. We're going to give it to this little cliff there to see what winds up happening. So yeah, Apple. I mean, I've got 4 positions, and they're all doozies. So we're going to have to try to manage these.
Yeah, apparently Neo's bleeding.
Apple.
See battles. We'll get to that
Apple.
one in a quick little second, but the market's making another bouncing here. Oh, there's a bottoming tail candle if I've ever seen one on DJT. So I'm just gonna cover and then explain. It's self-explanatory. That is the biggest volume candle on DJT since the open to the downside, and it's a recovery one. So I'm jumping out at 15.6. This is adjacent to yesterday's bottoms anyway, so kind of like the bottom here at 15.35, and it does a bottoming tail candle at 15.4. So I'm going to jump out, take the profit, and then move on to the next. That's a big time move to the upside. I know it's a bleeding stock, but I want to take profit somewhere. If it gets back to VWAP, we'll go back into it again. So we shorted 16. We're able to get 15.6 on the best of the outs. Nvidia definitely. Okay, so Nvidia's done the pattern of, instead of taking breaks, you got to try to buy the dips in here. I don't know if we'll get back into VWAP again. I thought we would. Seems like that 118 where we tried the breakout, that's starting to hold in here on Nvidia, looking pretty strong. I'm just going to double check to see if there's something looking better. AMD is not. ARM maybe is, but it's not really moving a heck of a lot there on ARM. The other one, yeah, it still hasn't really broken out. Oh, yeah, it's Broadcom's the one that's going right now. So Broadcom looks a little bit better on a trend, but it's still trying to buy the dips, which is the same thing we'd be doing anyways here on Nvidia back into VWAP. So Google, I don't know, Google's gone like 10 cents in the money, 10 cents out. It's not really going much of anywhere as we speak, but Nvidia feels like the one we need to join this trend. If it continues the trend of the upside, got to buy the next dip into VWAP as long as we can get it. And I promise C-Battles, I'm like, okay, we'll look at Neo. Neo absolutely flushing today, down 8%. So what goes up must come down. If you're a Chinese ADR, there is your 200 period lost. Just as soon as it gained it, it's lost it again. I'd suspect $5 looks like a pretty good level. Maybe the 490 for some support on Neo if you guys are looking for a bounce spot. Not sure why you'd want to catch the falling knife, but if you felt compelled to, SSR 10% down would also be out in front of $5 as well.
Yeah, so the one
10%.
stock that fell back in here for us was Amazon, and we did not reload it. Luckily to get out there and now back in. So it can be a flat trade actually for us on Amazon. We got out of about half and then lost about half, so it's pretty flat. That first trade was 185 O's, which is why it looks like it might be up, but it's pretty flat as a trade there for Amazon. Apple's working, Palantir's just sort of sitting here with it, so we will wait to see here. About all of that, I do want to not forget about, again, Nvidia. Wow, what a move up to 119 again. Remember, this name was like weaker off the open, and then now straight back up. So I would say that right here is a definite buy, 117.50 here for Nvidia. We'll wait to see if that can go. Yeah, me too, Tiago. That was a good one. Tiago bought Amazon at Nvidia at 105. I mean, I said this. I only really want to buy strong names. All right, crypto 57.6 right now for Bitcoin. You can see that on the bottom. So we'll have a quick look now to see if we can get anything going now on. Mara looks kind of blasé right now, not doing too much here for Mara. I just want to make sure this Micron doesn't get too carried away here. 85.30, 85.85. Okay, so 86.40 still our target. We haven't changed it. It looks like it wants to break now. I guess the chip names are starting to go a little bit. This is well within the reason of a loss for me now. If this 40 cents of a hit for Micron, I think the risk is better than this. We're down 4%, although it is retracing back upside. We have a pretty aggressive stop now, so 86.40, just to make sure that's still there. Yeah, if that breaks, we're out. So 40 cents worth of risk. If we're nervous, we could take the middle spot right here and get out at 20s. But right now, that's what we're doing. Seems like we're doing fine now. Palantir starting to get going. We do have, that target at 10. Let's switch it to 10s. We were up at 15s. Let's put an offer at 10 now. Cancel our 15s. There it is. Did we get it? Yes, we did. We got some 09s there. So a little bit of a change. We get a little more aggressive there on our out as we see some of those wicks. It's a good thing we just turned over to that. So again, a good retracement back up for Palantir. Looks like it would have been a bad stock. There it goes. There goes Micron. So we will turn red on Micron as well. So not dropping money down, losing money out of our pocket there. But that was just a sort of a fun thing to watch. But at the end of the day, it's a losing stock there. So look at the market.
The market is choppy. It's just
hard
choppy.
to put risk on right now.
Exactly. Look at the market. Chop up, chop down, backing around and forth. We've been underneath these pre-market support levels, every single candle on a 15-minute, and then we haven't broken out any of the lower highs. So you gotta find ranges to trade, which is why am I shorting when we're not at VWAP yet? So again, wait for a price level and then get to that price level. So Intel breaks 30, I want to jump out of it. Google is essentially just consolidating in here. So it's actually, it's kind of doing what you want, which is that the market's choppy. Each time the market breaks a low, it's not really breaking its low. That's good, but it's also not breaking out the top. So if it gets to VWAP, I'm going to take some out and we'll try to reload right at the absolute bottom. Now, the thing that I'm trying to still see, every single time I think I'm going to get picked up on Moderna, I'm not getting it. So I'm kind of determined to try to find my way back into this short. But each time I try to get picked up on the offer, I'm not really getting filled. There's just not a lot coming through. Even when there's a bid on Moderna, it's not really going anywhere to the upside. So I think you got to be a little bit careful there. I'm going to try and reevaluate a good way to get into that. So I'm still looking at the same stocks, man. We're in Google, Intel, looking to get the bid in Nvidia, which doesn't seem to want VWAP, and Moderna I'd like to re-enter the short. It just doesn't even care about going enough to the upside to get me a good fill. So when Nvidia doesn't get to VWAP, we'll have to find somewhere else to join that long, as this is the one time it doesn't get all the way down to some of those bottoms, Nvidia, when we want in. Wow, Oracle's going as well. Now I got to keep eyes on Nvidia here. Nvidia is going to break 119.
Wow.
Because the last break at 18 was no good, I'm going to look for a false break. Ideally, it false breaks 119, and then that's going to give us the dip buy that we're looking for.
Yeah, it's
Nvidia.
It's going to go. It's probably going to take this out right now.
Only long today on Nvidia. And
Yep, I know. Yep. Apple's trying to go as well. Palantir's huge right now, so we're all good on pretty much on all fronts right now. A break of 119, I think, should be taken a little bit here, so we will take it for a little bit. Apple's really starting to go. He is actually here. We have Jeff Mendel. How are you, my friend?
What the?
Yesterday we get Mark O'Keefe. Today we get Jeffrey Mendel. Must be here for you here for the event tonight? Tomorrow. Okay, good. All right, this guy's here ready to go. Look, he's got sharp little glasses going on there.
Always dress sharp.
Always looking sharp.
Get a microphone on and go over there?
There's a mic right here.
Oh, hi. What's up, guys? How's it going?
So this is Jeff.
Good to see everyone.
Yourself here from OTC Markets.
Yeah, Jeff Mendel, OTC Markets, everyone. What am I over there? Head of broker-dealer sales?
Let's put on our glasses.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Here we go. We're trying to relive our the days when we were cool.
The days,
I don't know if I was ever cool.
The days of the cocktail table
The days
over
of
there.
the yeah,
in
no,
the
that was
webcam.
some
We still
poker.
have the
webcam.
cocktail table.
Oh my God.
All right, we just
that's
Jeff.
what-
I would love to talk. You're more than welcome to go grab a mic.
Nvidia just broke.
But right now we are long Nvidia. Nvidia just breaks 119 right now. It's upside, baby. Let's go see what's happening right now with Nvidia. We'll check out some OTC market symbols for everybody in a couple seconds as well. So there it goes. Yeah, it does always look like this guy's on vacation. You know, I mean, this is what this guy does.
Just saying.
He's looking sharply dressed over here, making an appearance. One more.
It's easy to have a good handicap if all you do is golf, right?
Is that what he does? Is that all you do is golf?
Oh, I'm joking. Oh, I kid.
I will say this. I played golf my own ball one time this year. Lots of scrambles.
Oh, okay.
Lots of scramble.
No, you can't be worse than I was. Trust me. There's a 0% chance you were worse than I used to be. I don't golf anymore because I got back issues. But
118. Yeah.
Nvidia broke. Google broke VWAP.
Trade this.
The market's at the high of the day. So apparently, every time Jeff comes live, the market actually does something.
Apple's
we were
huge
range
right now, by the
bound,
way.
and all of a sudden, we're breaking out some tops here. So Jeff is good luck, apparently. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, thank you very much for that one, Jeff. There goes Apple again. We'll go sirens alert for Jeff Mendel from OTC Markets and for Apple, as there goes Apple taking out 222, baby. We're long right here, Jeffrey. Right here off of VWAP. He's liking that look.
Trap.
Right there off of VWAP. Nice move up to 222. So there we go. Again, Palantir gave me a nightmare today. We were long, and then we got stopped out. Then we just went long again, and now that's trying to go back up to the upside. So, yeah. This is a heart attack waiting to happen here with Nvidia, though, because it is failing off that 119 again. So we just tested the long. Let's see if it holds this little dip area of 118 again here for Nvidia. So we're involved in a couple names right now. Yeah, the big one that I always try to look at here on the show is LKNCY. Of course, Luckin Coffee right now, only 234,000 shares. We can double check here. I love the website, Jeff. This is the most active section. You can see easily for me to pull up because it's on one of my tabs. There we go. Yeah, we got some Roche there. We got Tencent coming through as well. You brought to our attention before Rolls-Royce. Yeah, right here, LVMUY. So a lot of names going through. Trading is a little bit light today. I would feel like it's even light in the market. So just another look there. Go over to otcmarkets.com under market activity, Jeff. I really like that one. But I got a fish to fry here. So let's see what's happening with Nvidia. I'm going to buy some more dips on this one. Dips with chips. You more of a queso guy or more of a guacamole? Is that what's actually live
Always
right now? Just Jeff's face? Okay. I feel like he likes that there. He was doing. You were doing your blue.
Oh, here is it gonna? Oh no.
You were doing your blue steel thing there. I look like.
I will.
You gotta give him the people's
Can we
elbow.
get back to the queso and guac?
I was going to say, yeah. Why not both?
Why not both? Like, why
If you're
not,
paying,
why
let's
not
go.
both Apple and Nvidia making new highs right now?
Yeah, this is what I'm
Why
talking
not
about.
both?
Let's
I
go.
want
Let's
both.
drop that
Let's
money.
Why not everything?
Where's that money? Where's
Why
that
not
money?
everything? I'll take
Everything. Let's go.
a
Everything.
little bit of everything. You ever walk in and just be like, I want to order everything on the menu?
So at our office down in New York, there's a yacht that's been parked out there like since 2020.
Yeah, I should
The
move
name
it.
is To the Moon, and I'm actually
that
pretty
one.
sure it's a crypto billionaire. His yacht obviously makes sense, right?
Yeah,
Pretty sure I know who it is. He pretty out there, pretty
Is it Mr.
famous
Sailor?
guy. But
Mr. Sailor?
I'm pretty sure it's. I'm not going to say any names, but
okay, but you got your.
uh-huh.
Okay, well,
To
look,
the moon.
Look at this. Look what
is
you've
it
done.
going?
Look what you have done,
Here we
Mr.
go.
Mendel. Here we go. Keep talking more about that boat, whatever you want to say. Here we go. Nice upside move for Nvidia.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, and bang. It goes to P&L number one right there. It's Nvidia. It's trying to go higher.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, to the moon, baby. Let's go. Mendel, we love you, brother. It's like, I'm telling you, every time the mic goes on you, the market goes back into the upside. So I feel like we want to stay there while we're breaking out to the
Mr.
top
Mendel,
here.
this is for you.
Hit it.
Apple now $1 in the money now for
we go.
Apple. So there it is. There's the buy off VWAP. Here we go. We're getting into the 200 period moving average right now. I'm going to take another out here, Jeff, and then we
Give us
will
the
spin it
20s.
because there it is there. Now it's official. You could put, hot dogs aren't too bad. Get a little.
I prefer the Costco brand hot dogs.
You
Kirkland.
do?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yep.
No.
All right. It's $1.50. You get the hot dog and you get the drink there.
You get what you pay for.
I think they're Pepsi people over at Costco, right?
Are they Pepsi
yeah,
people?
I can't remember, but
imagine Costco moved over to the OTC markets. That would be nice.
I mean, we'll
I'm just
take it.
imagine.
We'll take it.
We'll take all of those listings, baby. All right, so yeah, just continuing to go on, man. Palantir, nice little move there. I don't know if you heard it. Now included into the S&P 500 as of September 23rd, and Palantir up and away. There's the gap, Jeff.
It's crazy, isn't it?
On that announcement, it is crazy. As if you could see the future with the Palantir. We do have to go to Adara. Does Jeff know Noel Biderman? You know a Noel Biderman?
I do not.
He does not, Mr. Westermeyer, but thank you for the $2. Please, if you guys want to super chat more random names for Jeff.
Who is Noel Biderman?
Okay. Well, the question is for you.
Are they trying to trick us into saying something?
All right.
It seems pretty harmless to me.
We got to go over to Adara quickly.
This part of the show is brought to you by Trade the Pool. Becoming a funded trader means trading with a firm's money instead of your own. At Trade the Pool, you'll first complete an evaluation by hitting profit targets while managing risk. Once you pass, you get access to up to $260,000 in buying power. You get to keep up to 80% of your profits while the firm covers the risk. It's the perfect way to trade big without risking your own funds. Ready to become a funded trader? Join Trade the Pool. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description.
Yeah, that's Trade the Pool. So yeah, you don't. Jeff, you want to trade on a funded account, man? You just log in back there, and you don't worry about it. You just log in as Neil and just start going crazy. It'll be fine. Yeah, no problem.
Take Brankel's account.
Don't tell Hugo because you're not supposed to. We're not going to worry about compliance. There's no compliance. Oh, compliance?
The volume's not on out there. Right?
No, is my mic still on? Oh, shoot, it is. Okay. All right, so here we go.
Don't mess with compliance at a trading firm.
Ever. We got a host. We got to host our friend here. But Nvidia making the move to the upside. Is there any stocks that you're thinking about these days? Make any moves in your long-term portfolio or anything like that? You still like tech names? I don't know what you can and can't say, but.
Listen, I mean, overall, right? I actually can't trade any OTC names in my portfolio. So, that's one of the downfalls, I guess.
Yeah,
right? Because there are lots of great names out there. Yeah. We talk about a lot of them every day on the show, right? And I mean, just look at it. It's all these ADRs that are, global names, right? We even mentioned some of them right there.
So just a quick question. So that would also mean you couldn't own Nintendo?
Nope.
So you couldn't own it.
You could own an ETF.
You could own it.
I could. Yeah, it could be in an ETF.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So you'd have to buy an ETF.
Well, yeah. But ETFs. How many other names are in these things? But any single stock names I can't own. But like I said, we talk about them all the time with you guys. And look at this. Look at this. Nvidia just keep going. It just keeps going.
Keep talking.
Oh my God.
Keep talking.
Another one.
No, every time you're on the mic, Nvidia goes higher. You stopped talking and it dipped back to 119. You started talking and it goes up to 30s.
This is not a proven fact. This is just an observation, everyone. But it's working right now. Let's go.
Would you like a position here at Trader TV Live? I mean, we could probably. We could probably cut your salary in half if you wanted to.
I do count myself as one of the founding fathers of this thing.
Well, you are an originator. You are. I mean, one of the first guests we ever had before we were even on YouTube.
And quite clearly, you don't like the camera. So
no, not at all. Jeff doesn't like the camera. We do have a rule about how many buttons have to be done up on the shirt, though.
Oh, jeez. Here we go.
I'm just messing with you. No, we literally don't care. What's going on,
man? All right, they keep playing. Do you hear that? Yeah, so we got that going on.
We got to start playing that with a kazoo, everyone.
Does
anyone have a kazoo?
Is it in your bag, or did you forget it, or where's your kazoo at?
I don't own a kazoo, but
nobody owns a kazoo.
We should probably switch that.
Bill Carr owns a kazoo.
Someone has to.
What else is he gonna do?
People are doing everything around here. Jeff Mendel today, Mark O'Keefe yesterday. You never know who's going to swing by here. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll get Brendan back in the action.
Anything can happen.
Over there.
Oh, my God. Where is Brendan?
He's right there.
Literally right behind you.
Oh, my God. Hi.
That's exactly what Mark did yesterday. He's
just chilling there,
He has a nice new haircut. He's looking pretty sharp. What can I say?
Yeah, there he is. There, he's working on something there. Is he scrolling Instagram? What is that guy doing? All right, here we go. Let's go over. Do we have Adara?
I think it's a small
I'm
cap.
hearing so many things now.
The small cap recap.
By the way, Nvidia 50 cents, Jeff.
Oh my God. Should have bought more.
Really bullish look here for IWM. Higher low and about 5 or 6 straight green candles here on the 3-minute chart. So Russell 2000 looking like it wants to have another straight rally day, currently up about 0.5%. In terms of small caps, keep an eye on. Beware of SMFL. This is smart for life, up about 60%. It's run in the past. Beware of this one, though. Lots of different information floating around here with regards to the float and market cap. I was seeing anywhere of a market cap to like 100,000, 200,000, anywhere up to $1.5 million. So smaller market cap, but unsure of specifics here for SMFL. Next up, we have OPLG. This is Oblong. This one mentioned earlier today by Luis Barbados. This one trading higher here, announcing it's regaining compliance with the NASDAQ. We've got a short float of about 10%. On roughly 750,000 shares, market cap of about $2.5 million. Last but not least here, Tenon, T-N-O-N. This one has run in the past, little not near high of days, but still up about 150%. No news, but they did a 1-for-8 reverse split effective September 6th, guys.
Very much Adara, Tenon making power moves. Really hope Luis is printing on that one. I know that's what he was looking for. So a lot of people have asked for levels on Nvidia. So Nvidia, okay, so you made the breakout. If you've got to zoom out your 15-minute chart in here to respect this close at 119. This is what we're battling with, this close right here at 119.5. I think if we get through that, you test the 120, and then ultimately all roads are leading to, I'll draw a line in here. All roads are leading to right back into 123, I think would be the big level. You got some wicks above it. You had some support in there. It needs to clear out this 19.5 and then the 120 even. But then I think you're clear sailing. The market doesn't really want to go. So it is what it is. Like, this market's not necessarily participating with this move. As I said on Palantir, like, the break at 35 was good. VWAP just tried to hold and then didn't. So I was in it another time. Now flat on Palantir because we're like 1 for 3 on the stock. It dipped into 34.5. Maybe that's what we have to wait for the next time. You know, your market is breaking out at these highs. You want something to be participating in the break. Like, right now, it's a little bit fraudulent of a move here on Palantir at that 35 break. So we are making some big moves to the upside. I want to respect Tesla, put some respect on Tesla's name. Like, it's not like it's only Nvidia that was going. Like, Tesla twice has gotten as high as 230.5. And this is from when this was 225 at the open and just screaming. But it's coming right back in to retest this whipsaw range. Again, you're just talking about range-bound trading since that big break. That's what the market's doing to us in here. But ARM is making some power moves. It just tagged the 140. This is a very nice, gentle upward trend on ARM. I like drawing trend lines when it sets it up. ARM's got one here. You just kind of fit it, like best fit. Like, look at the trend on ARM. This is like a join the move kind of situation for ARM, and that's what we want to try to respect. So Nvidia, that's the one that's holding up. Like, it was weird and was kind of bamboozling before. Now it's looking like it's a pretty solid one. As I said, ARM's got a nice little trend going. I don't want to disrespect our good friend Moderna, but like, there hasn't been a play back into VWAP, so you haven't seen me go back into mRNA. What do we got, Mr. Westmeyer? Thank you for the super chat. Double or nothing, I'll take Miami. Sure. You know what's crazy is we make all these kind of like bets. I don't even remember. What was
in Buffalo?
What was our last bet? I know I won, but I don't remember what our last bet was, Mr. Westermeyer. So you let me know. But yeah, double or nothing, that works for me. That means I won the last time, so it's a free roll. So right. I'm literally never saying no to double or nothing betting on my Buffalo Bills. So the answer to that is yes, although I really don't remember what we bet the first time. You got to remind me.
All right. All right. Well, 10:30. So what an eventful morning. Almost said afternoon again there. So let's just keep on going here. So Apple. Look, we tweeted this out, man. We tweeted this out when we took it. It's breaking VWAP. We actually even tagged Brian Shannon right here on this, because there it is, man. Breaking VWAP, and we tweeted this out. There's the break right there. Nice little hold of VWAP. Comes back in, bounces, bounces, bounces. We should have had the reload there. We sort of talked about that. And then there's the move back. So we were just watching it, watching the market go. So we took Apple. Now that, when we tweeted this out, it was 30 cents or less in the money. And now it is more than $1. But we are getting a little bit of a pullback, as we mentioned that. We only have 10% left of this trade. Actually, we had a little bit of an odd lot. We have a little bit more than that, about 15% left of this trade. So it's nothing like, to write home about right now, but it's a trade and we have it. So we'll wait to see what happens now with this name. Nvidia. So Nvidia does go $1 in the money or so. Our best out there was 119.55. So now you're going even higher than our best out. We've got shares on here. So nothing wrong with taking a piece out here, having a little look at Nvidia as it's trying to go higher. So there's another out right there. That one for sure is props. I'm happy to take that trade. Feel pretty good about what we just did right there on NVDA. The number one name for me now will be Nvidia. Even though we lost right there, we did make some back. Actually, my bad. Apple. Apple's going to be the number one name for me so far here today. We'll be flat on Amazon. We will take the L, unfortunately, on Micron. But now that I look where this name is, pretty happy that the L was what it was. Could have been a lot more than that. And then Palantir, same thing. Early loss there, made some back. Ooh, I didn't even realize this dipped back in. So we talked about how much we have left, man. We have that 10% left on Palantir as well. That just dipped in back through VWAP and back into those lows. So just another area of concern here for Palantir. I'm going to stay away and just hold on to this. If it does come back in, I do not mind the reload. There was one stock I was just looking at. Yeah, Micron at the 200 period. This could be a short. But Nvidia right now is $1. You still have this? Yeah. So Nvidia right now is $1 in the money on this trade. So a nice little reload. It's still going higher. So yeah, man. Everything working out for us here with NVDA.
Yeah, it's starting to look like it wants that 120 for a break. I don't want to play another break on Nvidia. Let's just wait for the next available dip buy. Moderna is starting to get into VWAP in here, so I still want to be short that. The market's strong, so The only things you want to be short are anything that's looking weak. Even DJT, I think we got pretty fortunate. There was that crazy, we go to the chart for a quick second. No, there was that bottoming tail candle, and I was like, let's just get out and then talk about it after.
What?
DJT right back to that resistance spot. If it can curl here back under 16, I think that could set up as well. And apparently I lost the bet with Mr. Westermeyer. So double or nothing is I'm going to owe him.
What was the bet?
I guess we bet on the Chiefs and the Bills because he's a Chiefs fan.
Don't you?
Oh, but I'm not going to lose that one because we're going to have a better season.
The Cowboys just smoked.
I ain't scared about that.
Everyone doubt the Cowboys so much.
I ain't afraid of the Cowboys.
And why did everyone pick Bengals for their survivor? That's what I want to know.
We did too. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Who did you pick?
Bengals.
What are we doing?
The Bengals.
Too, yeah.
Yeah.
You picked
I'm
Bengals.
like,
okay.
why?
They always choke week.
Why?
They always.
Like Jeff needs a chair to come in here. We got to get some nice coffee.
He's young.
We don't want me to get too comfortable here.
No, we don't. Well, for your sake, but
just
right.
Okay. At least
Sean needs a job.
Hey, look. I need 5 jobs. All right. So just real.
What are you, Jamaican?
Real quick, opinion of Toronto. Being from the East Coast yourself.
Opinion of Toronto?
Yeah, you're here all the time.
I love visiting.
Perfect.
I'm not here enough. Are you kidding me?
Really? I feel like I see you 2 or 3 times a year at least.
Yeah, probably.
Easily.
Yeah.
You should be here more.
You're so close.
Right.
How about spending your U.S. dollars here? How good does that feel all the time?
I love coming up here.
Wow.
Makes you a trillionaire instead of a millionaire when you spend USD.
I think that's how the math works out, actually.
That's exactly
so it's
what
perfect.
You skip the billion.
This guy's going to Drake's
right
party
to
tonight, this guy over here.
Who's Drake?
Not like
I don't know. Some guy from an old TV show, Degrassi High or something like that. I don't know. I never.
I heard a yes.
Yeah,
in the background.
Have you seen Degrassi Junior High before?
I've
Drake was in a wheelchair and everything. He was a really, really fun character.
Oh my God.
There. Now Nvidia though, Jeff. Here, let's help me spin this. There we go. It is now $1 in the money. And Jeff, as we were entertaining you is when we were buying these dips, as you quite clearly remember.
Look at that.
And then there it is right now, up to 120. Can we break? Going, gone. Here's the daily chart on Nvidia, now above the 50 period, looking to get back into 125. Do we go longer at 120? Stay tuned and you will find out. But for right now, we got to go over to Adara because it's our crypto minute.
Oh yeah, crypto.
What? Someone just said GME in the chat.
Of course they did. They said, Jeff.
Exciting update here coming from Grayscale with regards to Ripple XRP announcing here on their X account, previously reported by Fox News earlier this morning, that they're going to be launching this XRP trust, which could potentially pay the way for a potential ETF, of course, pending SEC approval. So XRP and Ripple, nice move there to the upside. Bitcoin also having a nice push upside after a bit of a down day yesterday, though this candle on the daily chart ended up looking pretty bullish. We do have continued support here at that 54,000 level, which was a level crypto analysts were interested in. Now we're getting a double bottom there. Let's see if it can push above into that key 60,000 level. We have not been at 60,000 since end of August, so this could be an interesting level should we break it in the next few days. Bitcoin up about 5%. Ethereum strong, holding on to this 2,300 level, up about 3%. BNB up 7%, Solana up about 5%, Ripple, as mentioned earlier here, one of the strongest on the day, up about 9% with that grayscale news. But generally, not a lot of weakness here as of right now in the crypto space on this exciting Thursday, guys.
All right, we're going long here on Nvidia more. Yeah, the interesting news there. Jeff was just talking about grayscale. There it is, a lot of shares there. We have NASDAQ, we have EdgeX ready to go. They are starting to get this. Remember, there's going to be reserve orders. There's going to be hidden orders. There's going to be dark pool orders. But that is absolutely nothing. Yesterday, I saw over, I think me and Sharif saw 15 million. There it is, see? As if it didn't even matter.
Did that really just ate that up?
There's this
look at that.
Oh,
now you're
one shot.
Whoa.
It just keeps on flashing.
It's a refresh coming back in.
Yeah, there it is.
Iceberg order out. Is it going to come back?
Is that you? All right, so we just went longer. All right, Jeff, I'll take it over for now. Playing around with this guy. There goes Nvidia right now. Okay, we're reloaded. More shares to go there at 120. Hey, we punched that bid long, and there goes Nvidia back up to the upside. Man, oh man, yesterday Nvidia was our #1 stock, and it looks like it wants to do that again here today. So Nvidia, come at the king and get burned, says Jensen. Nice move up to 120.
Come at the king, you bet not miss.
You bet not miss, man. You bet not miss. Nice move there. Apple $1, Nvidia plus. There it goes, Jeff, breaking back down below 120. So let's figure out what we're going to do on that one. Did I just hear someone say buy the dip in my ear?
I don't know what I just heard in my ear.
What was that? Say, do that again.
I don't know, man. That was a lot of buying just now. I think someone just trying to get something done there.
I have no idea. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Well, now we're not in trouble, but there's Nvidia with a little bit of a dip opportunity to be bought up a little bit here. Nvidia coming back in. I think we'll take the shot to dip by this name, but again, man, this Emperor has closed. So let's see if it gets back up to the upside. A little quick buy there at 119.60. Let's see if we can get it going back now to the upside. Stop zone in and around 119, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. We did get a couple of super chats in there, but obviously Nvidia is the more important thing. It came back. The best fills you would have got is 25. Now it's coming back in heavy. Now I got out of 90% of it on that way back in. There's something going on.
Talking about it on TV.
That's what it is. They're talking about it on
Get off that channel.
Another channel. Let's just say.
All right, so we'll buy some more 119.
So if that's causing it to move. Remember 119 was that breakout? I can't even get the bid here. That's insane.
We did. Yeah, so we're long. Yeah, we got the bid. We got 119 flat there. We got 119.05. So nice little reload down there. As here it goes back up to the upside right now. Let's go. We're long at 67 now on this name. It's still not great, but we did get a better average price there. We'll take some outs for flat, but we'd really like to see this thing go. Oh my gosh, Apple. We just got a huge reload in Apple right now. Yeah, so right now Apple, we're going to try to get some out. We are well in the money now. Wow, this is chasing P&L now. I did not see that one pop into the blotter.
This is dumping here.
Yeah, I don't know. The future's coming back in a little bit. That's too bad because we did have a nice little win there on Apple as it did go back up to the upside. We did get some out, but not enough. All right, let's go see. Is there news, Adara, or?
Not seeing any news for the market in general, but this is worth noting because I saw a little bit about this earlier this morning, but couldn't find enough information. CNBC reporting now here, though, that there was a meeting at the White House with OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google executives. Gina Raimondo also involved here. That is the Commerce Secretary, has been involved in some of that. Embargo-related incidents with the chips, basically talking about AI and data centers, as reported by CNBC. CNN reporting this earlier as well, but like I said, not a lot of info readily available about this meeting. Not sure if that's what's moving NVIDIA or the market, but just worth noting that this meeting did occur, guys.
All right, meeting this. So the 50s are coming back in on NVIDIA.
Huge.
The second time it's done this dip into 19 on whatever the heck that was in the market, but it's back in looking to make that top. If this ends up a wick high, then you could have a reversal candle in here. If 19 goes, I think you got to back off and wait in for VWAP. I didn't want to get to the super chat. I have to thank Jimmy Mowace in here for the super chat. We appreciate you very much. Take it easy, brothers. Wolf will squeeze like GME. Massive vortex signal. Wolf is running. So I want to shout out to you for that. It is making a power move to the upside. Obviously, that dip in the market, you saw what just happened on Nvidia, but it wasn't alone. There was a lot of things that made some big moves into the downside. Alphabet did, but now we're back in. Essentially, the only thing I wanted to dip was Nvidia. I didn't really understand what was going on because I was trying to hear it in my ear. I know they were on CNBC. I don't even know what was said, to be honest, about Nvidia. I just know that they were saying something.
I don't think it was Nvidia specific for some reason, because so we got long on Apple right now is by far going, I mean, it was our number one P&L name before this, and then we just got loaded up down there to the point where we panicked so much that we got out because we were not sure, like Neil just said there, of said news. So when you get loaded up there and all of a sudden you blink and you look at your P&L, I mean, I just punched out there knowing that we had to capture some profits, but we're still holding on, man. So if that can go, that's great. We just get an 80 fill down there. Now Nvidia turns profitable for us. Look at that dip buy on Nvidia. I mean, we got it down there. Now it's coming back up. Oh, there's a problem at Microsoft right now. Maybe they're saying Azure potential. Well, I don't think that was it either. I mean, they're saying Azure had some connectivity problems there, but I thought that would have been worse if that was the case. But there it goes, man. Top names today. Nvidia well in the money here as we go. So let's just keep on. Let's keep on doing what we're doing now. Very, very comfortable with some of these levels that have now hit. We're 50 cents in the money on Apple. And we're 30 cents in the money on Nvidia. I'm going to get one more piece out on Nvidia because we're quite heavy on that one.
You know what? I'm out of Nvidia. I'm just I didn't hear that story the first time through. I assumed it was Nvidia because I saw that they were talking about them on the TV there. But I looked over at Microsoft, and it's not a huge move down, but it was relatively weak. And the market, when I took a step back for us to get back to this 120 on Nvidia, I looked over at the NASDAQ and realized, well, if we're a chop fest, we just broke the overnight high and then lost it. We broke the high and then lost it and are putting in a red candle on the 15-minute here. So it is a bit of a pullback. So if you get the dip into 19 and then you go head and shoulders, I jumped out when we failed at 119.8. I don't like us. If we're not going to get back above 120, I feel like this could be a VWAP retrace, the way that it's gone. Like, we still have a good upward trend. When Nvidia really goes, you can always find a way back into it. And then on Microsoft, which if it was an Azure thing, like, Microsoft is just chilling out underneath VWAP and looking a little bit weaker than the rest. It didn't move that much. $1 for a $4 stock isn't crazy, or $1.50 for a $4 stock isn't nuts. But the fact that it's under VWAP already and weak, not a very good sign. I want to see Nvidia regain the 120. And then we can go to another level for it. And then before we go to Adara, last thing, ARM, like another thing trending to the upside. This broke the trend to the upside. If ARM fails 141, this looks like a reverse. But I have to go pay for locates on that stock if I want to take it.
Nvidia just took 120 there. So that's $1 right there on that reload. But that's risky. I did see someone in the chat there say, like, what's going to happen if and when the market actually gets bad news? And I agree with you. This market is going to absolutely get destroyed, but those are ifs and buts. Something about candy and nuts. All right, back over to the screen with Adara, because here comes Nvidia back down again. So, keep trying to take some profits.
Before we get into the sector board here, it's worth noting with regards to Microsoft and Azure, what happened there was actually Azure saying that their situation has been, quote, mitigated. Initially, some outage issues reported around 10 a.m. So that situation actually ended, was what was being reported there. The Azure situation getting apparently an all clear. So just wanted to address that. Before we get into this pretty interesting sector board, generally some strength specifically amongst the larger names in both the electronic technology and technology services sectors. So Nvidia, Broadcom, Google, Meta, Oracle, Netflix as well, all pretty strongly. You've got some other names like Adobe on watch with earnings tonight, trading a little bit lower here. So interesting mixed picture in the tech space. Finance pretty flat today after a pretty exciting last few days here. We also have utilities rather flat, health services, process industries, transportation, bit flatter here, but it is worth noting some negativity in certain sectors despite the market's attempt to continue its strength from yesterday. Health technology, with the exception of Eli Lilly with a $1.8 billion investment in Ireland. This sector pretty weak across the board. Also lots of weakness here in consumer non-durables. We do have some strength, though, in retail trade, producer manufacturing, and consumer services. So interestingly mixed pictures we head into the rest of the day, guys.
Mixed results.
That's what you
feel
get.
like today in trading, as I'm pretty half on the stocks that we've traded today. Holding on to winners right now with Nvidia and Apple, but already took the L in Palantir and in Micron, and then Amazon's flat. So it's like 2, 2, and 1 right now. 2 wins, 2 losses, and tie goes to the runner here with Amazon because we had made money and then basically lost there. So, that's a matcha. All right, so we'll wait here. I am still super excited about Nvidia. I really like that rebound there. It's up now 2.5%. I'm going to hold on to this one. I don't have any more offers. We just took a flat fill right there at 120. So that were 119.90, sorry. So that was a great fill. Now we'll wait to see what happens here going forward. But I like this trade. I like the stock. And Apple also has really, this has been my number one P&L. And this is not a name that's off the sticky note. This is just a name that we went over to because I felt like it was holding that VWAP half decently there. So, yeah. So that's it for me here. It'll be pretty muted P&L day.
It's a flat for me. It's a flat day.
It's a flat
like
day.
The first 2 stocks are the ones that are actually winners, even though Nvidia was a loss to start with. It's up now. DJT, which I haven't even been back into DJT to be honest with you. That one, it might set up for another short there. And then we talked about Intel. We tried to short that. That was a loss. Google tried to go long, but Google is not participating the way I want to see it. I just don't love the price action on the chips here, and I want to let it settle down and set up the next trade because it's feeling like a bit of a topping tail and then a lower high got put in. I looked over at AMD. It's like, okay, like that's actually even more violent of a topping tail candle and the rejection, and you're really starting to lose some of these. ARM did another rejection, and it's trying to put in a lower high. Like, you see what I'm getting at. You're starting to get a little bit toppy. Unfortunately, I was kind of, my actual hope was that let Micron be anywhere near $90 when this happened. Because
at 87. What is it at?
Yeah, so it got to the pre-market. Again, you can like a level all you want. It doesn't matter. I can want it to curl up here. That's a dream. It can want it to curl at the pre-market highs, but it got right to the opening range top, wicked it, and now it's trending down. So in the go back to square one, if it's not going to get to the pop that I want to short, but the market's trying to curl, then you short it where you can, not where you want it to go. So the VWAP is at 86, but I think giving it at 87 in here to the lower high is going to make some sense on a Micron. If we're making a curl, then getting out of the shorts getting out of longs is one thing, but I'm not shorting Nvidia just because I think maybe it's going down. Like, go to something that I think is weak instead. So with 15 minutes to go, we still got some time before we head you guys over to the midday. There's plenty of time for this market to make a couple of moves before we get into that midday. There was one more stock. Oh, yeah, Tesla. Let me just quickly, Tesla was the other one I wanted to mention. Yeah, Tesla already lost its bid. So all that strength in Tesla early, it's now underneath VWAP. It's now red on the day. Feel like if Tesla decides that we're giving it back in here, 226, this has been resistance for, it was resistance for a couple of days in a row. It was like a double top breakout that kept failing. If we lose 226 even, I think it could be dump fill. But as long as it holds it, I think it's got.
All right, well, we got reloaded. Again, we just missed by 1 cent. We're at 119.58 on Nvidia. I was just watching it like, okay, we'll probably get this fill. And we didn't. So we just reloaded here on Nvidia. I came into the 50-period moving average. The market is still doing nothing, so I feel like you got to take advantage when stocks pop. We just did that on Apple again. So Apple came back. It came back up to 222, so we're going to take another fill down there. It's just so insane that if I just would have held whatever that dip opportunity was there on Apple, our net would be through the roof because we got great fills on that flush down to 221.20s and then able to take it out now for 80 cents. We had more shares pretty much on that reload than we even did there. It was the same thing. This was where VWAP was. So we had just sort of been sitting at that same level again to get more shares, right? We talked about that. We never ever get our full default. Like, we have 2 fills there, so it was pretty close, but that filled it up. And then so that move back up was a good one. And we definitely feel like we took advantage of it. But we're not taking much advantage of Nvidia right now because, well, we did, but there's the drip. So now we're going to get out if this breaks right now. There it goes. So
speaking of drip,
Nvidia downside right there. So again, like, everything was going fine. 120, good fill. We tested it again at the 50-period moving average, then get out of the way. Not a stock that we want to sit in here while this is happening. I don't see any news again on Nvidia, but do you really need to? It's up 1.5%. If the market falls back, the market falls back. So again, we'll try to dip by Nvidia. That 120 break is quite clearly a fail. So might not be worth like layering into anything now, since we've sort of got that rejection a couple times now at 120. Might be just worth waiting for VWAP, which is at 118, and I think that would be the next reasonable area to take a shot.
I know why the market's coming down.
Yeah, what is it now?
Because Wolf couldn't break through $5.
Oh, is that what it is?
That's
Wolf?
why.
Yeah, I mean,
because Petco Health and Wellness Company rejected $5. No, I'm being facetious, but we got a super chat about it, and I said it was squeezing to the upside, or that's what the super chat said. It wasn't really me, but it did go to exactly $5. What's fun about that is that's going to set up a $5 break, I think, at some point. If it does a nice little higher low trend and all that good stuff, I mean, it's already broken out on the dailies. You can see $5 is a big psychological level. It's the kind of level where shorts get squeezed if they're not already done so. We just jumped into Micron because I didn't want to short any of the other chip names. Like I went through every other chip name and looked at them, and I'm like, okay, well, one of these is down 5%, and all of them have bullish charts this morning. So, I mean, you pick and choose. You can always go long strong stocks and short weak stocks. It is an option. But if we get to VWAP, I want to respect VWAP because the market's been strong. It's been making a bottoming pattern. So we got it just when it failed back underneath 87, giving it to this local high. It's like a local lower high, 87.25. I'm not at the point that I want to move the stop yet. I'm going to leave it at that 87.25. Mr. Mings in the chat saying Nike, pump it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm surprised by that because I thought Nike was not doing well yesterday, I believe it was. But
77 or something.
Nike, okay, off the bottom. Yeah, I didn't think it was doing well, but it did a V-shape yesterday. I guess it's trying to do another V-shape again today. Like everything else, it is every stock in here that I look at has a couple of extreme moves in you, which requires a lot of patience with them. You got to wait for a bottom if you're trying to go long. You got to wait for a top or resistance if you're trying to go short. Nike about to go green, so do pump it, Nike. I got nothing against you. I hope you go to the upside as best you can. I want to jump back over to Tesla to see if it's going to get to that 226. No, the answer is no. 226 half seems like the level on Tesla. It's kind of funny. I draw a line at the $half level. I look at a 15 and say the even dollar level, and it's the half level that it is bouncing off of.
Okay, for right now though, we're still in the game here. We bought some more Nvidia down there. It is ripping up, so now we're 35 cents in the money. As it's okay, where's my offer here, my guy? 119.20. Maybe we'll go cancel that and get out right now. Just don't want to get overfilled. There it is. We'll take an 04 fill. Fire it off again. You just got to find levels. I mean, it's not, I don't want to be like, oh my God, we're crushing Nvidia here because we just got hit there on the way down. But we bought it back. We got some out at the 50 period, out of half. Light reload there on Nvidia. But if it goes back up, then it goes back up. And there it goes now for Nvidia. We'll take another 40 cents on that name. And again, be a risk manager, man. Be a risk manager and just try to do the best you can and make the decisions, make them count when they do, right? I mean, that Apple trade, look at that, Phil. Right back, like, look how good Apple's been right here today. I can't, like, this would almost, the fact that dripped like that, I mean, that was just the fact that we were lucky to sit there, but you don't have pending orders, you don't get filled. So 221 holds. Lucky for us there for sure. You got to have some kind of luck. There it goes upside there. And then Nvidia now 50 cents in the money. Apple $1 in the money. And then Palantir I've left. Oh, it did come into that level. See, sometimes just too focused on obviously other names, but there, that's a long. I mean, that's a long. All right, 10:51 now. Not much money today, but let's go find out what's going on with the currencies.
Pretty significant bearish engulfing candle forming right now on the daily chart for the USD. Also interesting, we're getting this candle coming at that previous resistance level at 101.75. So let's see what happens from now on with the US dollar at this kind of pivotal place from a technical standpoint. We did get a lot of PPI data, more or less flat here compared to expectations. Core PPI month over month here coming in at 0.3%. Above expectations of 0.2%, but interesting here, also above the prior number of negative 0.2%, which was revised. So that's an interesting look there. PPI on a year-over-year basis for August, 1.7% versus 1.8% estimates, so slightly below expectations. PPI month over month here for August, 0.2% versus 0.1% expected. So bit of a mixed bag here, but generally pretty flat. We also got jobless claims slightly above estimates here, 230,000 versus estimates of 227,000. Tomorrow, we're going to be getting import and export prices at 8:30 a.m. and the first Michigan consumer sentiment print for September at 10 a.m. All of these numbers, of course, really interesting ahead of the FOMC meeting for September, where we are expecting a rate cut. So we'll have to wait and see what Jerome Powell and the Fed have to say there. Also worth noting, keep an eye on the euro and the USD. We had the ECB lowering rates for the second time this morning. So EUR to USD could be a relationship to watch out for, guys.
Thank you very much, Sir Darren. Next week going to be interesting with, well, we're going to get what we expect, but it doesn't matter about that. When he hits the podium, he's going to have some explaining to do. Mr. Powell, we'll see what happens there. Tesla making a move to the upside. I did want to go over, oh my goodness, Moderna, that was a chance. But you know the problem with a flat bottom break? Whoops, where's my crosshairs? There it is. The problem with a flat bottom break is it's short sell restricted. So you can't get it. But so you have to pick it up on the way up. I keep saying it, but I didn't want this one over VWAP. I wanted this one under VWAP. And when it finally broke down, because it's down 17%, it means you need an uptick to hit the bid to go short. So we'll have to sit there. The next time it comes up, I think we can give it to 66.5 and just try to short the 66 level. Moderna, if you're following along, if you just tuned in, the news with Moderna was they gave a guide on their revenue for next year that was way underneath expectations, and then they're doing a lot of cost cutting. So Moderna bleeding to the downside. It also broke a 52-week low, which we're not going to get a chance to short, obviously, because that was $6 ago and 10% ago that Moderna broke that level, bleeding to the downside here. That's an obviously weak stock. Nothing choppy about that. It's actually just straight down.
Yeah, we had said that, so we almost got to get involved with that in the pre-market. We're almost $1 back in the money on Nvidia as it keeps going higher right now. I took some out on Palantir here because it was at VWAP and at the 50-period moving average, looking like a mistake. We got 93s there on Palantir. I missed that dip by not feeling great about missing that, but you know, it is what it is. Thanks to Jeff Mendel for making an appearance today. That was classic. All right, 119.65s or so here for Nvidia. That would be $1 in the money. That's kind of like these areas would be something to look at right there. We double bought the bottom there. Whether or not it was the bottom, I mean, we were unfortunately going to hold it to VWAP. So this bid now is kind of just, well, now it's now it's $1 in the money. So now it's 2-to-1 on risk, but we bought 1850s against 18s. So that's why we take out that 50 cents or so right there, and now we're $1 back. I mean, we'll spin it again. We're holding right now. We're holding $2.50 in the money. We got $1 on Apple, got $1 or so on Nvidia, and 30 cents on Palantir. I guess that would be $2.30 as they continue to start to go back up to the upside. But again, Neil and I have sort of talked about this, a pretty uneventful day as far as like big, huge winners, unless you were able to get something off the bottom maybe. Amazon, we tried to get it going. And the thing about trading is there is always literally tomorrow. I mean, even if it's a weekend, you know, you still come in on Monday and able to put on the same trades again if you like them. So, you know, we'll just wait. Today, there wasn't that extreme move. I think there still will be. The NASDAQ, we're just wrapping the show up here, but the NASDAQ takes out the top. We're already $1 in on Apple. I think Nvidia flies higher, right? So if the market can hold these bids, this should be a good time here in the afternoon. So we'll wait to see if that does come through. Bouncing off the 50 period is pretty solid, right? 19.3 for anybody trading the Qs or the Qs in general. I feel like that could be a bounce spot there. Brad does real estate. Sean makes it look easy. Well, I mean, thank you for all of that. But again, it's just that's why we're trying to show all our ins and our outs. We have losers, right?
Speaking of
Micron,
what's crazy is there was a name in my note that I like the Mara break. I'm like, oh yeah, Mara's got a good level break if crypto can get itself going a little bit here. I know we're not above 58, but it's actually still valid. I mean, it looked like it was dumping like everything else, and you might not get to 1620 again, but there's still a chance that after 3 strong days and it hasn't been clean, like you've had up-down moves on this stock. Oh, of course. The second I start saying it's going to be valid again for a breakout, the market heads back down. So, yeah, never. Well, we'll see what happens. 1620, it's still a double top on Mara. Maybe it happens in the afternoon, but I'd like to see us take the 58 level. I'm just in Moderna. Okay, I have Moderna on the brain. Micron. I have Moderna on my mind because I want to be short again, but I don't know if we're going to get VWAP. I think we're going to get VWAP in here in Micron. If Micron breaks VWAP, I'm going to trail it back in and see if we can give it to 85 even. Again, it's just a relatively weak stock. At the end of the day, try to short weak ones if you can. Never jump back into any of those longs. Tesla's probably going to retest this bottom in here at 226.5. you know what, this is a weak name. Why would I be sitting on the bid of a weak name? Find a strong stock to
Right.
buy.
Exactly.
It's silly. Like I have a support line in there, and it's like, okay, well, you don't have to trade it if it looks like crap. Nvidia's a stock making higher lows, so you should be buying stocks that are making higher lows, not lower highs. VWAP on Nvidia would at least be the name that we've been trying to go long all morning, and that's at 118. So I'll wait for that. We'll short Micron in here. There was this. I know this ride stock is going crazy. I know it seems simple for this ride stock. It's not as liquid as the 5 million shares would indicate. For anybody that's trying to trade, this is halted. I have to go to my scanner to count. It says it's halted 6 times already. It's halted to the downside for the 6th time. It is absolutely bleeding. Be careful with this thing. This was $23 or $22 yesterday. It is $2.81 right now. And it just broke another low of the day. So this is absolutely bleeding to the downside. Personally, I wouldn't be trying to pick bottoms. That said, if it got to $1 and did a reversal and halted up, I'd probably try to take the up halt if it was at $1. That's a trade I usually like because you're limited in your risk. You can put a stop at like 80 cents or something. But if it does get down there, that's the only way I'm trading it. It's already 11 o'clock. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We're 1 minute away from some Fibonacci levels, which I want to learn about because I've never been successful every time I tried to implement Fibonacci's. And I used to. I was putting them on some charts when we were trading in 2020 on the small cap runners, and I could never figure out a strategy that worked with them.
Okay, well, you're gonna hear about it very, very soon with Sharif and Adara on the Learn to Trade midday show. So get ready for all of that action coming up very, very soon. Yeah, as Neil mentioned there, we did buy dips in the strong names. We bought some dips in Nvidia, but the chips and dips are still here, and maybe even going lower right now as Nvidia falling back in. We are going to watch out for VWAP at 118. We sort of targeted that area as an area for support. And if not, then the support is broken, and we can easily get off of these stocks. So. So far so good. We definitely want to thank you to Jeff Mendo for coming through today, for his comedic action there
and pumping the market.
Jeff, get back here immediately. So right now we are long Nvidia 118.65s. I'm going to put an offer back in like the 90s or so. See if we can get something out on the upside for Nvidia. But for now, that's Neil. I'm Sean. That's Sharif. That's Adair, and that's where we're going. Thank you to everybody. Ramin all. And Fabian.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as the Midday